looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No blind. Standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Hello everybody and welcome to the latest Elite FPL stream where we'll have, well, a minimum of 2 people hopefully being happy throughout the stream. Obviously last night Jason was very poorly. You may have noticed I've deleted the stream because, to be completely frank, as I said to Jason, it was absolutely horrific. But we're not going to talk about that. We're here to talk about positivity, because today I'm with, you all know him. Gary, aka FPL Have a Beer, who I was messaging and I just went, fancy coming on the stream to cover the 3 PM games? And Gary, you said yes.
Yeah, always up for coming on Elite FPL, Steve-O. I used to be, always was a big fan of these 3 PM watch-alongs. I don't know if you probably don't remember because I had a completely different name. I always used to be in the chat, so it's lovely to join you for an actual chat. And it's been a while since we did a video together as well, hasn't it? So.
Christmas
How
time?
are you, mate?
January, wasn't it? For the tier list?
Yeah, I think we recorded that in, when was it? Yeah, it was around Christmas, very early New Year, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and well, funny enough, the first question I was going to ask you was, how do you normally consume... Okay, firstly, what do you normally do on a Saturday? And secondly, how do you normally find out the 3 PM results? Are you watching along live? Do you then find out later on a match of the day? Do you just constantly be looking at your phone? What's the process?
I'm usually working, so I'm usually sitting here working, and I'll have my work on here, and I'll have BBC Sport usually, you know, the on my second monitor. So when the goals come up, I can just see who scored. And then the thing that annoys me most on BBC Sport is it will say goal, but it won't tell you who it is, and then you have to wait usually about a minute. And then I'm like, you know, which is frustrating because you don't, you know, is it Salah and is it, I don't know, Diaz or something? But, yeah.
Like today, I've done all my bets today, Gary. I've done all the popular FPL picks, but rather than 50p, because I barely had any money in my account, I had £3. So I just put 25p bets. I've done a bit of an extreme accumulator. I can't remember what the results were now, but for 25p, it's going to. This is just Premier League. Going to result potentially in a £16 return, which is just absolutely nuts. Nice. Yeah, for me, 3 p.m. kickoffs, it's either Talk Sport, which I'll be listening to today, or Mark Goldbridge. Usually I'm grateful when it's Mark Goldbridge because I get to, sounds really weird, but I get to pause the stream if and when necessary. So kind of like time feels like it stood still. So for argument's sake, if he's 15 minutes behind, I just assume that when I start playing the stream, it's 3:15, when in reality it's 3 o'clock. So my day at work then becomes a lot more quick, because Saturdays at my place of work it's a drag, Gary. It really is a drag, because it is just me literally doing the bins and cleaning a couple of vehicles. And
you work on Saturday? Do you work on Saturday usually?
Yeah. My shifts are Tuesday to Saturday, 11 till 7. So I've got to, like I say, Saturdays is the longest day of your life because there's no one to talk to really. Usually the security guards, unless it's a certain particular individuals that I get on with, most of the time I'm never ever going to speak to the security guards. The member of staff that I'm normally working with, it's very rare that I'm going to be socialising with them, so you're just basically stuck on your own listening into, ironically, your videos, Gary, to be honest with you. So
well, at least it gets me some views then.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute, because we've got 3 hours to waste of our pointless lives. And funny enough, talking of views, I was just watching briefly. It popped up with a video clip saying, "I'm 45 and I'm depressed." And I thought, well, join the club. Click the button. Click on that. And it was just a bloke just chatting away about how he's not enjoying life at the moment. He's finding it a struggle. He's a truck driver. He works 6 days a week, 45 hours a week, having to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh, in that particular video, he says that this is the first video he's ever done, and he wants to see where it goes. And I thought, well, this video was recorded 3 days ago. I wonder if he's got the bug for creating content, because he got like 30,000 views on that. So let's just click on the channel, click on it, and guess what, Gary? Yep, he's released 2 videos and they've got next to nothing because no one cares. It's a grim existence, isn't it, YouTube?
I saw one blow up just after Christmas. It was a young Scottish girl, basically why everyone should leave the UK. And I think she got about 700,000 views. It was absolutely ludicrous. And then she's just gone down I think she already had a channel, but she's only 500 views per video straight away afterwards. But
is there a reason, in your opinion, why that's happened for her?
I don't know. Well, I guess certain topics just, she got a lot of subscribers out of it, because she's up to I think she was actually on 10,000 subscribers or something. Right. But I think usually on a video she interviews people, and I guess she just caught. I guess sometimes with those, particularly those life's shit, or I'm allowed to swear on it, so early in the afternoon. But them sort of videos, they catch a mood that's in society at a particular point, and so they get big. But the person, they're probably not actually interested in anything else she's got to say. You know what I mean? But
is this just you covering up the fact that you're talking about yourself? So you're just saying it's a blonde girl, she's Scottish, because you're saying that she interviews people.
I wish I'd had a video blow up to 500, 700,000 views, mate. I'd be boasting about it. Trust me.
Just want to quickly say hello to a few people that have joined us. Welcome. Make sure you are supporting the stream today by hitting the like button and the subscribe button if you are new around it. The like button specifically, that would be great for you guys, just to get people potentially to know that we're live, and maybe repost my X post. Just repost it and just see if we can get a few new faces to the channel to see one miserable bastard in me and another miserable bastard in Jason. John Hayes, good afternoon. Joel B, Andrew Ferguson's here. Andrew, you seem to have caused a stir on Patreon. I haven't read any of it yet, Gary, so I'm probably going to do a regular Patreon podcast maybe tomorrow.
Is this a new comment? I haven't seen the one. I saw the one he left a couple of days ago. I haven't seen the one, Andrew. I haven't been on for a couple of days.
I'm sure that I'm sure there is a comment that Andrew left, or is it you? I cannot remember. But either way, I know there's a few comments left, which is good. So it's always good conversation pieces. Benji, good afternoon. AK Shagair, Fantasy World Order. Good God, Fantasy World Order's here live. Welcome, pal. Is this the stream with a guy who sings rock music? Well, if you want to see Jason, then you can go and tune into Jason, to be honest with you. He's dying in bed at the moment.
I can try and sing rock music, but I can tell you will not enjoy it, viewers.
What rock song would you choose to sing, just of pure interest?
I don't know. Something classic.
Bat Out of Hell?
Queen? Something from Queen? I don't know.
Queen.
We will rock you. That's a crowd.
Jesus
thing,
Christ. This is painful. We will get on to FPL in a minute. Like I said, we're going to be here for at least 2.5 hours, for crying out loud. I just stuck Sticks Soccer Saturday on. Shagair saying, turn that off. Keep that bit in. Keep this on. Forget Saturday, whatever it's bloody called. Keep us involved. Weirdly, Nick Turner's just messaged me. What does he want? He's messaged me, Nick. He messaged me, Gary. What about you?
Nick. Oh, Nick.
In fact, do you know what?
Still hasn't got back to me.
Actually, I'm going to deliberately do this live right as we're speaking right now. For goodness sake, I hope this doesn't cock anything out. But it's an 18-second long message. Can I play? No, I'm not going to play. Actually, I could play out. No, I can.
Nick from Juice, we're talking here, yeah.
Nick from Juice, yeah. I'm just live on air at the moment, Nick, with Elite FPL. And Gary is with me at the moment, aka FPL Beer. He's wondering why you haven't got back to him about doing your interview with him regarding mental health and FPL. Crack on with it, mate. Yeah, so there we are. Done and dusted. In all seriousness, not that any of that wasn't serious, but this is an FPL channel, and so far from yesterday, we had Leicester losing 4-0 to Brentford. Couldn't have been any better for me. I had Flecken in goal, and Burmo and Visser.
Burmo still got Flecken.
Yeah, I don't need to get rid of him.
well, he's doing right there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's better away from home than he is at home. But me and Ray keep making the point that there's other fires to be burning other than Flecken, so we just keep him in the team, leave him as it is. So
don't want to waste your money on a goalkeeper transfer. So all the big content creators say, isn't it?
Yeah, precisely.
No waste money, no goalkeeper transfers.
Yeah, today I've got playing this afternoon Gabriel Timber, Kotara, and that's it. And then this evening I've got Watkins and Rogers. Who have you got playing today? Oh, and Palmer. Who have you got playing today, Gary?
Oh, God, let me just get me
Because you've already had a Burma and Visser, is that right?
Yep. It was a lovely night last night, wasn't it?
Did you watch it?
No, just followed it on BBC Sport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was watching the Burnley game last night. As Fantasy World Order said, how good is Marcus Edwards? He's got a lot of spark to him, something which we need. Someone that can actually do something in the box, basically. If anybody hasn't seen it.
I've got, what about this for an Arsenal dribble up? I don't know how I've got these.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to minute.
Go on,
I bet one of them's Wanyeri. Okay, well then, carry on.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Odegaard, still. I don't know how I've kept him. I've had him. I think I replaced Saka with him, and I just haven't managed to get rid of him. And Trossard, which I'm actually quite excited about.
Were you surprised last night when Jason just almost like a throwaway comment saying that he didn't play Trossard because he didn't know who to bench. Bringing in a player.
He didn't play Trossard. He hasn't played Trossard.
No, he bought him, but he didn't bring him in.
Didn't someone say Well, FPL Review wanted me to captain Trossard, which I didn't do, but yeah, he's got massive points. I'm surprised Jason did that. Yeah,
FPL Fran captained him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of do wish I'd bought in the young lad now, Ranieri, is that it?
Ranieri, yeah.
Ranieri sounds like the old Leicester Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish I bought him in for the saving, but Trossard could do well. I mean, he's hurt me before when I've not had him in my team, both when he was at Brighton and when he was at Arsenal. So I'm more put it this way, I'm much more happy to have him than I am Odegaard. It's just sucked. And then I've got sorry, mate.
I was going to say, who else have you got other than the Arsenal triple up?
I've got Raul Jimenez,
home to
Anderson.
Crystal Palace.
Yep, and then I've completely gone against that, and this is the one. So my transfer this week is I did what everyone seems to have done. I bought in Glasner for my assistant.
You've got the assistant manager chip played.
Yeah. I had Slot the first two, and to be honest, I looked at all the odds, and the odds basically told me keep Slot because I can't remember, but I think Crystal Palace are favourites to lose to Fulham, and Liverpool are favourites to win. But I've been a bit boring this season. I just thought, bugger it, I'm just going to do it. And I literally just pressed the button at the last minute and changed it. But it kind of works in some ways because I guess if Crystal Palace win, I've got that, and if Fulham win, I've got Jimenez and Anderson. Hopefully, could do. Did
that transfer cost you anything? The Glasgow?
No. I only had one free transfer though. But to be honest, I've only got Trent and Salah that are blanking in 29, so I don't really need that much. I can deal with game week 29 pretty easily, so I'm just going to try and save up a couple of transfers the next few weeks and see how it goes. I don't know about you still. I've had less. I don't know if it's because of the changes. I've strategized less this season than I probably ever have before. I just seem to be making moves like on a couple, I still have a little think about what I'm going to do, but I used to be planning out like 6 weeks in advance, and this season I almost just make my decision on the day.
Why is that?
I'm not sure.
Have you got less time in life? Are you focusing more on something else rather than FPL?
Well, making YouTube videos, but no, not really. I just it just seems to have been the way it's gone this year. I think with things like the assistant manager chip and everything changing last minute and double game weeks and announcements at last minute, it hasn't felt worth putting in the planning in. And also, to be honest, I think after 10 years of playing FPL, I don't quite enjoy the planning as much as I used to. So that could have changed maybe.
We did that tier list on your channel. For anybody that hasn't seen it, basically myself and Gary did a video where we both ranked the chips within FPL, and we what did we do with the assistant manager chip? We didn't put it in the end. What did we do with that? I forget.
I put it in S tier, and then I said I'm gonna relegate it for every time it's pissed us off, and then it ended up in the bottom tier. I don't know. What would you reflecting now we've played it? What would you? Because you were very happy to put it in the bottom tier, if I remember.
Yeah, and I still probably am. I agree with Raptor. I think that it's too overcomplicated. If it was just literally you pick a manager whenever you want, you activate the chip, and that's when you play a manager for that one game week, or even if it's 3, fine, whatever. I'd probably be thinking actually it's not too bad. But the fact that it's just so overcomplicated, I just think it's crap. And even though
even Let's Talk FPL Andy in one of his, I think it was his video yesterday. It wasn't even in the stream. It was in one of his videos. Said that he thinks they should get rid of it.
Yes.
And
I think they will.
For him to put himself on the line like that, it's not like something the big content creators even do. It's not as if he's even had a terrible. I don't think he's had a terrible experience of playing it. Like in terms of outcome. So yeah, it seems to be quite a bit of backlash. I don't know.
Well, talking of content creator, Yelena's here, and she says, yes, the stream is exactly what I need on this Saturday afternoon.
Hello, Yelena.
I'm wondering if, number one, if she's in her dressing gown, if Az is in his dressing gown. If the thing is, because we watch her stuff, it's this thought process of she'll turn to the camera and do her usual thing of where she... Why am I doing this? Because it's... You go on.
I texted Yelena last night because I'm trying to get... Well, wait till you hear what I'm going to say. I'm trying to get Yelena basically to hook me up with FPL Family. FPL Family to get them on for an interview. And when I interviewed Az, so the next interview coming out this week is with Az, I'd literally just watched that video you're referring to with, when they were on holiday. And Yelena knows this is going. Well, I tried to say to Az, my headphones is fat. I tried to say to Az, I just watched that video where you appear naked through her outfit, and instead I say something along the lines of, I've just watched Yelena's latest naked video or something like that.
Okay.
So you are definitely going to clip that and put it on. You're going to do something with that on. That's what I said to Yelena last night. You're definitely going to do something with that on Elite on Twitter, aren't you?
What Yelena always does, something that I always pick up on, is when she looks in the camera, she's got her little microphone and she's just like this. Right then, guys. And she's kind of like bouncing like that.
It's a very... I've seen lots and lots of females use that sort of microphone. It's like a little, almost like a bookmark sort of thing, doesn't it? I don't know. It's
not just females, Gary. I hope you're not being sexist towards women.
Well, yeah, I did say females. I have mainly touched.
I believe, I could be completely wrong here, I think a lot of vloggers use that type of microphone because it's quite easy to carry around. I could be completely wrong, but I believe...
Maybe, yeah.
Because I've seen quite a lot of vloggers that I watch, they use... In fact, talking of which, you're not going to believe this. So you know how you were genuinely, and I quite rightly so... And by the way, the games are about to kick off. So what Gary... We're just going to explain this. Gary is deliberately not going to be looking at anything to do with chat. I'm the one that's going to be bringing him...
I've got to shut everything down then.
The news of everything that's going on regarding the Premier League. So Gary's going to be experiencing... Normally he'd be listening in, I'd like to think, but...
All I can see is myself now staring back at me from...
Yeah, just always look... Do a Yelena, just focusing on the camera and just intensely stare like I'm doing now. I know you can't see me, but it's one of those really where that's the way the life is when it comes to YouTubing, staring...
Who have you got?
It's like a...
Who have you got today, Steve?
Kotara, double Arsenal defence in Timber and Gabriel. That's, in fact, let me just quickly bring it up. Just there. So I'm kind of... I don't think Arsenal keep a clean sheet today, to be honest with you. I've got 25p on Jared Bowen. Yenna just quickly saying, hello, Kieran, mate. Talking of microphones, have you got your new one? It sounds great.
Who is Yelena talking to, me or you?
I hope she's talking to you because she ain't going to be talking to me.
Well, this is the same microphone that I used to interview Yelena. The difference is I've put this thing on it because in the last couple of interviews I've done, I've heard it pop, and I've also got this lovely arm extender, which only cost a tenner, Steve. I was quite impressed by how cheap it was.
When I saw somebody that I occasionally watch when he talks about deathcore bands, and he's got the same mic as me, but like you, he's got it on a stand. I kind of want to get what Jason's got. I'm hoping Jason's watching this. Not this specific moment, but he's got like this guy's got an extension arm, and I need it. So I kind of need the extension arm for me. I can assure you now, me with my setup that I've got now is just a pain in the backside. So I kind of want it to be a bit more manageable. As David Brent says, they're malleable. I've been watching actually The Office. Funny enough, Gary.
What's your mic? Is your mic in anything? Do you just literally have it sat in front of you?
It's just stood on top of the DVD. In fact, I'll show the audience. This is how technical. There we are. It's just sat on top of the DVD casing.
No expense spared. No expense spared.
Well, the microphone costs a bit of money, you know. That's what the Patreon money. No, it doesn't go to that. Actually, it goes to. To be honest. But yeah, I've been watching the Office, funny enough, and you have come up with a, what do you call it? A great idea for me and you to.
Yes, and I've let you down. I've let you down with not recording it yet. Well, not let you down, but we haven't recorded it yet. Yeah, we're gonna do a. So this would be on my second channel, I should say. I've also got a sort of a film channel, which actually Yelena's been on with Yelena and Az came on to do a horror movie tier list,
and it's brilliant.
But anyway, yeah, thank you. Yeah, they've got. They are quite movie geeks as well as me, so we got into quite a bit of depth in that. But anyway, Steve-O is obviously an aficionado of the British sitcom scene. So I suggested that maybe we do a tier list on British sitcoms.
Okay, I thought you were going to continue talking.
Yeah, well.
Gary, you're in the YouTube game now. I should be able to sit back and not have to say anything. You should.
It's because I can't see anything. There's never. Yeah, well, I think we'll have some. I think we both love The Office and Extras. I think we've got. Well, you're very amazed that I can't remember.
Faulty Towers.
What's it called? Faulty Towers. Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, but I just I've just never felt the need to go back and watch it.
I was literally quoting it today. That's how much of a loser I am. I was quoting it today.
Do you remember Channel 4 did the best ever? It was the end of the last century. They did the best 100 best ever comedies. And I think Faulty Towers was second and Only Fools and Horses was first.
And you remember just of interest, can you even remember the top 5?
No, I can only remember those two, to be honest.
Okay.
I think what's it called? The big thing that John Cleese did. Monty Python would have been up there somewhere.
No, Jason likes that.
You know what? I can look it up. It'll give me something to look at rather than just my ugly mug.
Well, now you're gonna have to. Now this is how you must realise how David Mitchell and Robert Webb and anybody to do with Peep Show felt when they're doing that show, because it's just directly looking into the camera. You're just talking to yourself. Because even when I do whether it's Total Steve or Patreon, I'm just, for whatever reason, looking into the camera. I'm just kind of trying to get used to looking into one, because I find it like with Juice. I may be going into Juice on Tuesday, and I'm always conscious of wanting to look at the camera.
Is that going to be the? I won't say anything in case I spoil it. Is that the rearrangement of what was going to happen about a month ago? I was really looking forward to that one.
I have no idea what you're talking about. All I know is
with a certain office.
Oh no! That won't be happening ever again, sadly.
That's a shame.
Which is a shame, to be honest with you, because I was rude. But
they've got a new list that came out in 2012.
Okay.
And
time to annoy me.
These all look like they're from. No. Those got. Number 1, Father Ted. Number 2, The Peep Show.
This sounds like Channel 4 only.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, it is.
I think that sounds like Channel 4 only.
Let me see. Best comedies of all time.
And if anybody in the chat has their favourite comedies, Gary will be more than happy to... Well, I'll have to take a quick note like I did today on the Vince McMahon documentary. And I'll write them down.
Give me something to do, Chad, to stop me feeling tempted to sign into BBC Sport.
Yeah, favourite British sitcom has to be British.
British, yeah.
Just to give you, I'm just putting Jason's team on screen because he had David Moyes today, so he's going to get not only the points for a draw, but he gets the table bonus as well, Gary.
Okay.
Obviously, with that 2-2 draw with...
They were very close to winning, weren't they?
Who's that?
Evan.
They had a penalty claim in the last dying seconds or something, and it was not given. Truth be told, Man United considering, I'm sure it was it on here or was it with you? I can't remember now. Man United, for people that were born in, bearing in mind, people that were born in 2010, they're 15 years old now. They probably see Man United what we see, the likes of Crystal Palace and Fulham, just mid-table teams. Whereas we know the history of Man United, but people that are 15, 16, maybe even up to 20 just will not care because...
Well, you say that. I mean, I didn't really get into football till the 90s, but I knew about how Liverpool's legacy during the 80s, 70s and 80s because people told you about it, didn't they? Like, I'm sure that must be the same for young people now with Man United, you know. Back in my day when Alex Ferguson was...
Well, yeah, but when we're children, we only see what's literally directly in front of us. And as you'll be aware, like our brains develop at such a, not necessarily a fast pace, but in a way in which we only learn from what we see or hear. And if we're just seeing the fact that Newcastle and Man United or even Arsenal are the big clubs, you're just going to be focused on those specific teams. And obviously the media then focuses just on those teams. So that's all you're going to know. And for people like yourself or me, who, you know, when I was younger, I was a Man United fan. But that's because they were the most successful team at the time. And you obviously mentioned a lot the fact that you were a Newcastle fan because they played the most exciting football.
Yeah, back in the late 90s, they definitely did. Yeah, they remind me a little bit of Brentford this season, with their, you know, scoring more than you. It doesn't matter how many we concede, we will score our way out of it. That sort of attitude.
Kind of funny enough, a bit like Burnley 2 seasons ago, where we felt like every single game we would win. It didn't matter how little stoppage time, we always felt we could score at any point. And
you missed my joke. You missed my joke comment on your stream last night, Steve. Apparently, Burnley are selling their life.
Oh yes, I did. Yeah.
We didn't react as a sleeping.
Well, like, to be fair, when you're trying to encourage your co-host to give a bit.
Oh, true.
A bit of oomph. Me seeing a comment about Burnley, despite me watching the game in front of me, I was like, "Not now, Gareth." It's like, in fact, it's literally like David Brent. Not now, Gareth. Not now. I
can't find that list, but I found the list on the Internet Movie Database, which is voted for by actual fans. See if you can guess the top 5, Steve.
British. Top 5 British comedies voted by IMDb. I'm not going to say it in order because that's ridiculous, but Only Fools and Horses have got to be in there.
Yep.
Where's that?
Third.
Fawlty Towers?
What? Fawlty Towers is first.
Ah, good. The Office?
The Office is fourth.
So The Office is fourth. Only Fools and Horses third. Fawlty Towers first.
5 is someone you don't particularly like, but I'm a big fan of him. And how number 2 is there, I have no idea because I didn't like it. Well, even if you liked it, there was no way it should be number 2.
How old is it? What era are we talking here?
Both of them are from the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm guessing.
Well, actually, one of them has continued going on in
Alan Partridge, surely.
Alan Partridge, yeah, it's 5.
Fifth, so number 2.
I don't think you'll ever get it, mate. I can't believe it's number 2.
I'll randomly say Royal Family.
How on earth did you get that? Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Wow.
How is Royal Family a number 2? That is.
I don't know. Do you know the hardest thing about your tier list is that, like you stated, a lot of them is I've never seen it. Royal Family.
6 is Victoria Wood has seen us on TV. I don't even remember that. Yeah. Well, you can't really argue against it when it's been voted for by the fans, can you? I guess.
That's true, and I think IMDb is quite good for reviewers, user reviews. I think it's an excellent source of information. when it comes to people's opinions regarding whatever TV show. You normally find a balanced argument about whatever it may be, and certainly Fawlty Towers being number one, yeah, I could probably agree with that. It is a toss-up between... I may not be Only Fools and Horses' biggest fan, but I certainly would say that for its longevity and its impact on pop culture, it probably should take it to number one, to be honest with you.
Extras is 18.
One with Extras is it doesn't age well because it's based on the celebrity side of things, specifically Series 1. Series 2 is more about when the whistle blows and more sillier humour, and I think it stands the test of time a lot more, in my opinion. If I'm going to watch Extras, Series 2 is almost certainly going to be more higher up on the list than Series 1, even though ironically I prefer Series 1. But that's because I know the celebrity involved. Series 2 is more silly humour. Let's focus on Darren Lamb and bloody Sean Williams.
I love that one you did an impersonation of. I think it was on the Patreon podcast the other day, you know, with Keith Chegwin. The thing is, I haven't got a sister.
That scene is people need to appreciate how good that scene is between Ricky Gervais and Keith Chegwin.
Keith Chegwin's not even an actor, is he? He's a
that's the joke in it. That's the best thing about what's so good about it is that he wasn't an actor. It's like, in fact, Andy Millman literally said, he goes, "Can he even act?" You know, and it's just his bluntness and the whole thing of, all right then, if that's what you want me to do. Just this what's the word I'm looking for? Just this no emotion towards a particular role that he's supposed to be playing. You know, Alfie, why are you late? Because I buried my sister today. Okay, thanks for that.
Don't look at the camera.
Don't look at me. Look at him. Do you know what's really crazy? This is how much of a loser I am. Again, I reiterate that point. Is what makes me laugh about that is I don't even think about them. I just think about what I did in a parody in Total Steve-O when I'm taking not taking the piss. It's a bit strong, but when I'm putting the roles of Alfie as FPL Plonker and James the producer is Ricky Gervais or Andy Millman. And Nick's there not getting his lines right and everything. It's just the imagery of Nick. Just, God.
Not replying to text.
Don't reply to me. Reply to him. Nick.
On an FPL note, Steve, has anything happened yet?
No. Absolutely. What I will say.
I'm looking forward to the 6-way show on Wednesday. Sorry I couldn't join.
Yes. So good segue. So on Wednesday, myself, Rupert, Shane, Roberto, and Ray and Jason, we're going to be covering all the 6 p.m. kickoffs. 6 p.m. 7:30 games on Wednesday, and it's going to be absolutely insane, I think, just like last time.
The last one was so much fun with Nick and his 5-minute delay, and it was like, Palmer's gone off or something like that, like 10 minutes after it's happened.
And we're kind of like, yeah, we know, mate. Yeah, it's just you just keep talking about whatever, and we'll let you.
I listened to it back the following morning on the way to work. And the bits with Nick, I was on the tube. I suddenly just started bursting out laughing on the tube, and everyone started looking at me like, "What the hell is that idiot doing?" But I just couldn't help it because Nick's got a natural. I don't know. It's just very funny the way it worked out.
The thing is, I said to Nick when it was me, him, and Ash did a stream together. And sorry, just getting information from Bournemouth. It's fine. Don't worry. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
I don't want anything to happen at Bournemouth because I haven't got any of their players. It's one of my weak spots in my team at the minute.
Yeah, I mentioned to Nick how what I really, really enjoyed about the stream that the three of us did was it just flowed.
Who was this with?
It was me, Ash, and Nick on Juice. It was, I don't know, whenever it was.
Oh, yeah.
January or something. And I just said how much I just enjoyed being in there. And it's just three mates. It's literally like XFM. Just three mates. If by luck someone's tuning in and watching us live and listening in, and the conversation was just such free flowing, and it's one of the few things that I'm gonna miss a lot when I eventually leave London. But because of the atmosphere,
would you not come back to do it?
No, this is what I was literally about to say. I think because they make such a brilliant atmosphere, or create such a brilliant atmosphere and a comfortable atmosphere, I would happily drive it would take probably 4.5 hours to get there. And I have no qualms with doing that. So obviously it's all dependent on my own personal circumstances. But, I mean, how did you feel when you went there?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wish they'd have had that new. I like that new section they've got on. What is it? Best free things, basically, isn't it? That's basically the section.
Yeah.
It just gets me thinking. I think my favourite one was the best free game shows.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't remember. I think it was when Roberto was on there, and it was like. Do you know what I've been watching randomly the last couple of weeks? I've been watching the Krypton Factor. Do you remember that one?
Okay. I remember it, but I don't remember it.
It's really random. It's so 1980s. I'm watching it more for just like the nostalgia, taking the piss out of it factor, as I am actually watching it for enjoy. But they have this like they have all these different.
Go! We got to go! Go! Oh. Tottenham scored. On to Son. No. Brennan Johnson. Son assist. Brennan Johnson goal.
Oh, you had him in your team a long time ago, didn't you, Brennan?
Well, it's funny you mention him because I was like, oh yeah, Brennan Johnson. I remember him. Who did they play last? Tottenham. Who was the last game they played?
Is it Man United? Did they beat Man United?
Yes, it was Tottenham Man U, and I was like, oh yeah, Brennan Johnson, remember him? Just vanished off the face of the planet.
Yeah, and it's not that long ago, because I mean, you had him in your team when first time I came on here. It was only, November? Maybe?
It's funny you say that, because I just can't believe how quick this season's coming towards an end. We've only got, 12 game weeks left?
Yeah, I'm really hoping after I've been like I wouldn't say down in the dumps, but I've just been floating around 400,000 for about 5 or 6 weeks now, and nothing's happened. But after yesterday's results, I was up to 325, which I know is massively boosted by having Mbomo and Vissa. I can never say him. I'm going to call him Boomo. The only reason people call him that, I know it annoys people, I think it's because they can't pronounce his actual bloody name. But yeah, I really want that week to just knock it up. You know what I mean? I know I'm a bit ahead of you because in the Elite FPL league, but you're not doing too badly, are you? You 500,000 something?
No. Add 300 and you've made it.
Really? You're not that far points-wise. You're not that far behind me, so it must all be.
No, well, it's funny you say that because I was looking at the Torbay Elite League, which kind of gives me, well, rather than making me feel depressed, looking at the Moderator League where I'm God knows how many points behind, for instance, Blonde. In the Torbay Elite League, Mr. Reed, who's top, a very close friend of mine, I have caught up with him by so much that I'm only 51 points behind him now. Now that.
Yeah.
Puts into perspective the sense of how well last night went. But the fact that me and Ray, because I'd always mention Ray because we are doing the team together, because we've already spoke about what we're going to do next. It's either literally going to be doing Gakpo out for Cunha.
You guys streaming tonight?
No, because I'm doing this. So I'm not going to be streaming twice. And he can't, funny enough, just by pure circumstance, he couldn't do it today anyway because he's busy with family. But he is in agreement that Cunha is the sheep move for Gakpo and Marmouche is the really exciting move. I'm kind of in the safety net of wanting to do Cunha, because this season I'm kind of trying to make it as template as I possibly can. But I'll tell you what, Marmouche, he could be a proper explosive player, as we're fully aware, but he could be a real differential. I know Jason brought him in this week.
He scored that trick against my lot last week, didn't he?
He did. I don't know how well he's performed against the likes of Real Madrid. I can't comment on that or the other games.
No.
But
no, I'm the same as you. I don't watch Champions League, really. I don't. I mean, I'm interested.
We can't anymore, can we?
Where's that on? It's on BT? I thought BT's BT.
And Amazon.
I thought it was TNT. Oh, I have got Amazon.
Hold on.
I have got Amazon.
Hold on. Who was Southampton player? Brighton. Brighton have scored.
Southampton playing Brighton, yeah. Oh, and if you tell me it's João
Pedro.
Bloody hell.
Didn't Andy bench him?
Yep, exactly the same as me. He's my first bench. He hasn't started for 2 or 3 weeks now. I saw he was in the starting lineup, and I knew that was going to.
It could be either a Minter or a Rutter assist. But certainly, Pedro has scored. That's without question. 100%.
At least it might stop him going down in price.
I'm just grateful that so far nothing has happened which has affected any of us, so to speak. What? Tottenham winning 1-0 thanks to Brennan Johnson, and Brighton winning because of João Pedro. I don't think many people...
How have you still got Timber in your side?
Again, it's a non-emergency transfer. To be honest with you.
You're keeping ones like set aside?
What do you mean?
In case of an emergency?
No. As in, like, I see emergency transfers as, like, for instance, Gakpo. He's injured. So, replace him with someone else.
Oh, right, like transfers you're forced to make, basically.
In a sense, yeah. And certainly in this specific case, Gakpo we need to get him gone because, number one, his price is going to be falling tonight. Number two, Cunha and Marmouche, they will be rising at some point. And I think that the fact that Gakpo is going to struggle, I think, to potentially get his place back, potentially. And they haven't got the greatest of fixtures. I know Liverpool are Liverpool, I'm not blind to the fact, but you know what players are like when they come back from injury, it's not brilliant. And they've got forget Man City, Newcastle next at home, then it's Southampton at home.
Southampton's nice.
We're going to need more information, I think. I am. Because...
Yeah, and they're not... Here's one for you. Sorry, Steve, I shouldn't interrupt you.
No, I was going to say, because the other move would be obviously Ollie Watkins to get out my team instead of Gakpo. But to be honest with you, I think keeping Gakpo for the next... keeping Watkins for Crystal Palace and Brentford away compared to Gakpo, who's got Newcastle and Southampton at home. What would you do in that? In fact, there's the question for you. What would you do? Gakpo, Newcastle, Southampton at home, may not even play either one of those games. Or keep Watkins for Brentford and Crystal Palace away.
They're both blank, don't they?
Yeah.
I'd keep Watkins, I guess. At least you know he's going to start.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you, Steve, is what do you think about this? I think it's going to become more and more talked about over the next couple of weeks. Selling Salah in 29 to get Haaland in.
Selling Salah.
With the idea being that when we wildcard, we're not going to have Salah in anyway, which in itself is a debate because they haven't got any other double game weeks left, have they? After, I don't think
so.
From now,
Salah after blank game week, Everton goal at Ipswich. Tottenham has scored 2. Brennan Johnson has scored 2. And guess who got the assist?
Solanke.
Considering Solanke's injured, that would be quite an ask.
Well, I thought you were going for a surprise, so I thought
And it's a surprise assister.
Okay.
It's someone that you wouldn't expect, from what I could gather.
The goalkeeper?
No, it's Bentancur.
Oh, okay.
Did you play Guess the Player on FPL Juice? You haven't yet, have you?
No.
Yeah, don't bother, mate. The fact that you you call Solanke potentially assisting, I think Bentancur.
When I went on Roberto's podcast, what's it called? The
form is temporary.
The form is temporary. He does a quiz on there, doesn't he?
Yes.
And I was really good with the 90s, early 2000s stuff. But as soon as he started anything that was like post 2010, his co-host just kicked my ass basically.
Yeah, those questions that them two put together are absolutely absurd.
Yeah, we did some like it was a Valentine's Day themed thing, so it was like we had to guess what footballer was linked to. So I'll do it on you. Flowers.
Sorry, say that again. I was listening into that.
So the clue is he would give us something Valentine's related as a clue, and you have to guess what who the player is. So this is an easy one. Flowers.
Tim
Flowers, yeah. But there were some really, really obscure ones that the name wasn't even part of the clue.
This is when it gets a bit cheeky. When
is he in the chat at all, young Roberto?
I don't think so. Amazingly, no. Stuff him. Combs here. Just the main thing, and just a quick one. PK7 Paul, great contributor to the show. He says he agrees with Gakpo out, but there's no way on earth he struggles to get back in the team. So there we are. Gakpo is an absolute guaranteed starter.
I had to say to I think I went on Black Box and I was in their chat, and then I went to Above Average FPL and I was in their chat, and then I went and someone else, I can't remember, I think Praz and Trophy did a random stream, and before I could get to every single chat, you can guess who's in there. Young Roberto. I have to say, I'm not stalking you, mate, but he is in so the fact he's not here is I'm very disappointed, Roberto. If you
you were going from one stream to the other, or do you mean they were on separate days? And
no, they were literally. I went from one stream to another, literally like Black Box.
And they were simultaneously all streaming at the same time?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, there would have been some crossover, but like Black Box finished, then I went to Above Average, and then when they finished, I went to this late night weird one that, well, it's not weird, this random one that Trophy had on his channel with Praz. Yeah, and Roberto was there. I mean, knowing Roberto, he was probably omnipresent in all of them. At exactly the same time.
Talking of popular members of the community, so Andy Martin, he put his assistant manager chip today, or yesterday, whatever, on Ipswich's McKenna.
So
Hold on. I think hold on. Wolves have scored. Who
Wolves?
Zabani has been sent off.
Oh, they're playing Bournemouth, aren't they?
Yeah. Zabani has been sent off. It's been a VAR decision that has, I believe, and they've come to a decision that Zabani has been sent off. I can't work out if there's also been a goal scored or it's been a penalty or something. I don't know.
So Wolves won 1-0.
I think it's just referring to a sending off, actually. I think Zabani's definitely been sent off.
Okay. He was one of my heroes last year. He scored for me in a double game week.
Zabani? Doesn't he do really well in a double game week or something? I know Alex.
That's what he scored, and everyone else went for someone else who got injured. I can't remember who the player was. It might have been Kirkes. But everyone else went. Most people. It was between Zabani and one other Bournemouth defender.
Yeah, Kirkes. You are right.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I might get. Sorry, mate.
Well, yeah, guess who I went with? Kirkes.
I'm actually thinking about getting him in for the blank game week. Selling Trent for him because I've got I can't remember, they've got Brentford at home or something.
Alvin Martin saying this shouldn't have been a sending off, but with video evidence, the Moose is saying it should have been Alvin Martin.
The former West Ham defender.
Wait, what is going on here? Sorry, the crowd are going mental at Bournemouth. Nothing's happened.
Do you remember Alvin Martin, who used to be captain of West Ham?
That's right. Well, I only know him from TalkSport. He's brilliant. Well, back in the early 2000s. Oh,
you're listening to it. Oh, right. I thought you meant Alvin Martin was in the chat.
No. No, Alvin Martin. It's not.
About to say,
clip that.
Alvin Martin's watching. Hello, Alvin. How you doing, mate?
Well, he
played.
I believe it was real as well. I believe it was real. Mark Goldbridge tuned into us once. That was mental.
Really?
Yeah.
How could you? Oh, it comes up with a thingy to verify it, Sam, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did look legit. I didn't think it was a fake account. You can normally tell the fake accounts, but this account seemed pretty genuine. And that was a couple of when was that? 3 years ago, something like that. And I also, because what I was going to say to you earlier, how you were genuinely really happy when the Black Box guys called you out on their show, and rightfully so. Well, the other day, I randomly saw a comment from one of my favourite vloggers, Billy Mayhem, on one of our videos, and I'm like, what? Just mad. Like one of my favourite vloggers just randomly popping up. I don't know where.
Do you know what I'm thinking about doing for videos involving Steve-O? I think I could make a, do you know they call them the bingo card things?
Yes.
Tick off. Yours would involve Billy.
Well, we've already got one up here. Well, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but yeah, I've already got one. It's a guy called Tyler. He sent me. This is 3 years ago.
Let me see if I can guess who's on it.
Hold on. Hold on. It's a Snakes and Ladders game. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comments, which I would regularly make on a 3 p.m. stream from 2, maybe 3 years ago.
I'm thinking more about the Patreon and something.
Okay.
That fitness channel. You will never go through a Patreon without mentioning that fitness channel you love.
Mind Pump. I reference them every day.
Mind Pump. Billy Mayhem. Pure Gym. What's it called? OnlyFans, maybe.
No, I don't know. Not on Patreon. Not OnlyFans.
Okay.
Total Steve-O. Hold on. Go. 1 Wolves. Cunha. Fucking hell. Cunha scored. Damn. It's annoying because people have brought him in this week, and he's somebody that I kind of wanted to bring in, Gary.
Do you know what his ownership's like?
I could find out in 0.2 seconds, but could you really find out in 0.2 seconds? But certainly, Cunha has scored.
Seconds is passed. So obviously not.
Cunha, and the answer is he's 6.9. I can tell you, and it's 11%. 11% owned.
That's probably higher up in the top million.
But weirdly, Rich, who is for FF Hub, I'm sure he benched him.
Really? As benched him benched him last week and then got him off the bench for Yellen.
Yes.
On the chat.
Yeah.
But I remember he was quite happy about that on Black Box this week.
Here we go. Just quickly, regarding what you just said, PK7 saying a girl, Yelena, was playing goal at Ipswich. 2-1. Ipswich have scored. Calvin Phillips picked up the ball. Laid it off to Jack Clark. Who? It's only that man Hutchinson.
I've still got Greaves and Davis from Ipswich, but they're like constantly on my bench.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to get rid of them in the wild card.
Think about Leif Davis, all that hope for him. Nothing.
Yeah, he's scored 1 goal. I did have him on the pitch when he scored. He got me 10 points. I can't remember who he scored against, but he did get one return. But that might have been the only return he's had all season, quite possibly.
Pathetic, isn't it? But yeah, PK7 just quickly saying a girl was playing Candy Crush in the gym yesterday on 3 separate occasions. I felt like slamming her head off the weight bench. Can't be saying that, Paul. I was actually
what I used to... When I used to go to the gym, Steve-O, I used to go... when I lived in Derby, I went to Pure Gym, and I couldn't stand
Goal! Crystal Palace scored.
Oh,
it's only that man. Guess who scored? Guess who scored, Gary?
Ateta.
No. Come on, Gary.
I don't know.
It's only the
guy that everyone bought in and was rubbish.
It's
not going to be an own goal.
No. It's that popular player, Lacroix.
Who?
Exactly.
I don't care, though, Steve-O, because I've got my assistant manager on Glasner. So
aren't you playing Anderson?
I am, but the assistant manager on Glasner, if they win, is going to be a lot bigger deal than Fulham are going to concede anyway.
Yeah, so Maxence Lacroix has scored for Crystal Palace. I've no idea who the assist is, but all I can tell you is that Max Lacroix has come through with a goal.
Oh, it's always him, isn't it? It's always him.
Paul saying, just to confirm, I do not encourage violence and unless you're playing Candy Crush in the gym. Kieran saying, isn't the crew a carbonated flavoured water? Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So, Gary, you were saying, sorry, about the gym.
I was saying, yeah, I used to go to Pure Gym when I was in Derby, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the people in there, so I'd actually purposely go at midnight on a Sunday when it was completely empty. But in London, I stopped going to the gym regularly during COVID, but I used to go to it's called Raw Gym in Leighton. I might as well plug them in.
Raw Gym?
Raw Gym, it's independent. I think they might have a branch in Tottenham as well.
Okay.
It's run by, the guy is like, he's an Asian guy. He's absolutely massive. But I love it there because it's just like, you might not like it, but it's just old school, proper people working out. They've got great equipment. You get, I was going there for about 5 years. You get to know people. Everyone's like, all right, brother, all right. You know what I mean? Just a really good atmosphere, which I'd never seen in any of the sort of
commercial gyms.
Commercial corporate type gyms. What was the one you said on? Didn't you say one local to use like £75 a month or something?
Oh, yeah, Energize it's called, I think.
What do they do? Do you massage afterwards or something?
No, it's just unfortunately a lot of these gyms that are kind of, they're not independent, but they've got a big enough name where they can afford lots of fancy equipment, and they just choose to charge an exceedingly absurd amount of money.
I used to find Pure Gym had terrible equipment as well. It was like,
it is.
They had like 2 squat racks.
Hold on. From reliable sources, I got some bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that player in your team that's in defence? Remind me of your defenders, Gary.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah.
And who else?
Trent. Yeah, Anderson. It's an own goal, mate.
No. Difficult.
How's this happened? This is from Paul and Colm.
But before we came on, I said to Steve, I'm really happy. Well, I think I might have said it at the start of the stream. I'm really happy with my game week so far. So coming on here has got to be the the curse that's going to ruin it all. So maybe this is just the start, Stephen.
Well, to make you feel good, I've deliberately put up Dan's team, Mr. Ball's teams up on screen at the moment, and guess how many points he's on at the right as we speak right this second?
How many points a particular person's on?
Yeah, my mate Dan's on at this precise moment as we speak.
Obviously not high.
You're not very good at guessing games, are you, Gary? I just need.
I need things repeating. I'm getting old. I'm 42 now, Steve-o.
You're in your 40s, yeah. Come on, peak age.
11.
Way lower.
Way lower. So Steve, is it 2-0 to Crystal Palace now then?
No, 1-0. It was an Anderson own goal.
Well, if it remains the same, and that gets Glasner a win, I mean that's going to massively outdo a simple couple of minus points for Anderson.
Well, yeah, I mean an own goal's what, -2, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll probably end up being on 0.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I wasn't expecting anything. I had a quick look at. It's quite a split in the assist.
Hold on. We've got a goal. I think West Ham have scored. West Ham have scored. Jared Bowen.
You've got double Arsenal defence, haven't you?
I'm sure I put 25p on him. Or did I? Wan-Bissaka, I think, with the assist.
He's got a few attacking returns recently, hasn't he? Everyone derailed him as like the least attacking defender ever. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Are we gonna go for a Steve-o breakdown here on live? Not quite at that level yet.
No, I don't think we happen. That's just annoying because I just think Jared Bowen, he's always such a dangerous player, and I was going to put 25p on him. I don't think I did in the end.
Did you have him in your team earlier in the year?
Yeah, I captained him against Palmer and Salah, and he got no, it was against Palmer, the popular pick. Palmer went and got 2 goals and an assist. Jared Bowen got a goal and an assist. Unbelievable. Because Bowen was playing Wolves. That's right.
Yeah, I remember. Because I remember you talking about that on the last 6-way stream thing we did.
Well, in answer to the question, Dan has got officially 6 points at the moment.
How many people have played, though? That's the
4. He's got Wanyeri at the moment, Mitoma and Robinson. He had Flecken last night, but he took a -4. I can't believe West Ham have scored.
I'll plug my interview coming out with Az on Wednesday. Steve-o, he was telling me about, I'm sure you've heard of it, the time that he got in the Sun newspaper for
it's a fascinating story, yeah.
11 points in the entire game week.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad.
Yeah.
The story is that it was a blank game week, wasn't it, or something? Or he
didn't get into that. He just said he was 11 points. I think he actually said it might have been the Daily Star rather than the Sun. And then he said it's the most viral tweet he ever put out. And then all of a sudden he found himself in the Daily Star. And it was the following week, literally the next game week, as when he hit the bench boost by accident as well. And everyone was accusing him of doing it on purpose. You know, when he had Simicast 17 points or something.
Yelena, his wife, was on he's got a more attractive wife. Do you know, I love that bit where David Brent is going, you're looking over your gardener's fence, and he's got a more attractive wife. He says that. But she was on Juice, I'm sure, and I was listening in live. And
who was?
Yelena was on Juice, because this is when they were doing Streamception. And I'm sure Yelena revealed live that he'd accidentally hit the bench boost, or she messaged into Juice or something that Az has accidentally hit the bench boost or something. So it was all legit, because I remember Ash basically mocking him and saying, "Nah, that's not true.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
can't be true."
Well, he said he was doing a black box stream, and someone said to him, "Bench boost active" in the chat, but he read it as you should activate your bench boost because of the players you've got on. So he just dismissed it as, you know, a suggestion that his bench boost was on, rather than someone actually saying, "As you Wally, your bench boost is,
Right,
is
yeah.
active." So I definitely think it was. He didn't do it on purpose, I'm sure. I mean, to be fair, the font was really. I think they've improved it a bit now, but the font was really difficult to. Well, I'm making excuses up for ads. I mean, he shouldn't have done it, but it was. You could understand how someone could do it. You know what I mean? With the font the way it was on the website.
Well, I got some breaking news. I did put 25p on Jared Bowen scoring, so that may be a profit of 50p. Right. I just need.
So we'll see. For the accumulator, they all got a.
Oh no, the accumulator
basically come in.
That's not going to happen. Oh no, Matthias Cunha. I won from. Oh right, I thought I'd done it on someone else's own. Okay. I thought I had Jared Bowen to score at any time. Okay, clearly not. No, it was Cunha I had. He was 2-1 to score or assist at any time today. Which is just
Bowen?
Absolutely no, for Cunha. Which is absurd. And annoyingly, Jared Bowen scored just a few minutes before half time. So annoyingly, conceding that goal in the last few seconds before half time, that's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah, I went on Trossard last week because everyone, you know, it was a bit of like the flavour of the game week when did someone get injured? I can't remember. When it basically became clear that he was going to play. I think Jesus or someone got injured. No, Havertz. And I was like, oh, I'm so clever. I'm going to bring in Trossard. And then you actually see the Arsenal lineup and like Sterling's playing. And I was thinking, this was last game week. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing with 3 Arsenal players in my side? You know what I mean? It's like when a player gets injured in a good team and then another player comes in, everyone kind of rushes on them. But when you've got the sort of number of injuries Arsenal have got, you know, it's not the same team, is it? You're not getting that player in the best Arsenal team. You're getting him in a makeshift Arsenal, team that are not doing very well.
Exactly. Well, it's looking like most games are coming to half time now. Thank you everybody for joining us at the moment. Really do appreciate it. Why not, while we're taking a time out while it is half time, to hit the like button if you are brand new around here. Why not try and get us into positive figures, where you've got Gary here telling me he's getting, what did you say you were earning a month from subscribers? Was it
earning? Not earning it. Oh, getting, you mean?
Getting, yeah.
I think I've averaged about 100 a month since I started, roughly.
Yeah. Whereas we're getting minuses. So
I know. I can't believe it. I actually watch your you know, being mates yours, Steve, and a fan of the channel. I constantly have a look at your subscriber numbers, and it goes 789.
What a life you own.
789, 790, 790, 789. You just like flicker between those two numbers backwards and forwards, back like a yo-yo or something.
Yeah. And like I say, with like the likes of Mark Goldbridge, when he says the lines, I'm 2,000 away from 1.2 million, help me out, and then 0.2 seconds later, we've done it.
But it also shows how much you actually care about your subscribers. That when you and Jason put up the number of subscribers, you put up a subscriber count about a month ago. You added 1,000 on and didn't even realise between the pair of you had someone in the chat to point out to you.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal to be. The world of YouTube, as we all know, is absolutely brutal. So for most people,
sorry, man.
I was just gonna clarify what's been going on in the last 45 minutes, give or take. Most of you will know anyway. But
Steve, do you mind if I go off for a quick?
No, carry on, my friend. You carry on. I can continue solo for the next few seconds. And yeah, certainly the good news, as we used to say with nuclear atoms, is that with most games that are quite low scoring in the first half. I'm going to take that earpiece out now. Most goals that are low scoring in the first half normally ends up with quite a few goals in the second half. Let's hopefully that trend continues in the next hour or so. But certainly, I don't think there's not much to write home about really, other than West Ham scoring annoyingly with Jared Bowen, of all people. I believe it was a Wan-Bissaka assist. I'm going to get that. Yep, it was a Wan-Bissaka assist. Wolves scoring. In fact, yeah, 1-0 West Ham. 1-0 Wolves. Cunha scoring. And some bloke called Menetzi assisting for Cunha. These people, I have no idea who they are. Yeah, an own goal for Crystal Palace for them. Of all people, Gary's Anderson. There, the assist coming from Will Hughes. It's Ipswich 1, Spurs 2. Brennan Johnson with Brennan Johnson with 2 goals and Son with 2 assists, but they didn't. Okay, fair enough. This is the trouble with listening into the radio. They seem to jaggle up their words quite a lot. So yeah, and then for Ipswich, Hutchinson and Clark with the assist, and then for Brighton, it's 1-0 Southampton to Brighton. João Pedro with the goal. From my personal standpoint, the frustration, of course, being that Arsenal have conceded with double Arsenal defence, and yeah, that would have been a massive differential from any point of view, from a rivalry standpoint. As double Arsenal defence is quite a powerful move when it comes to the world of FPL. But unfortunately, mugs like me don't get many clean sheets out of them. They got a clean sheet against Wolves, a clean sheet against Leicester. Obviously, they're not going to get anything against Man City. I didn't really expect them anything today. I'm sure I predicted, what was it, Ray? 2-1. I'm sure I predicted 2-1 to to Arsenal today. So, unfortunately, the goal that they conceded was actually as expected. My transfer this week was Quatara. They're down to 10 men, unfortunately, Bournemouth, and the way Wolves are at the moment, I can see them seeing that as a 1-0 victory, maybe even going on to win 2-0, 2-1. But certainly, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult task for Bournemouth to turn that around with 10 men. I mean, they've got the quality of player, but I do think it's going to be a difficult comeback, especially. I mean, if they had 11 men, I think it'd be different, but I think certainly the fact that Wolves are the kind of team that, from what I've seen, that like to soak up pressure and then hit on the counter, and I think that with that playing into Wolves' hands, because Bournemouth are obviously going to be wanting to attack, it will mean that I think that Wolves will be able to easily do okay against them. But yeah, Gary, these half-time results at the moment, apart from West Ham, there's no real shock results, I don't think. Not shock where I think, oh God.
No. Sorry, Steve, I was just having problems getting my earphones working again. No, not really. I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I think Glasnow's the biggest thing for my team at the minute, I think, with, if that result stays. I was looking at the assistant managers really split this week, because you've got people still on slot. I think when I had a look at, actually, well, I'll have a look now. Live rank.
Oh dear.
There was a real. No, I'm not looking for that. I'm going to look for the split of the assistant managers. So 13 around my rank, 13% on Glasner. Other well-owned managers, 5% on Moyes, 16% or 17% on Slot, and 15% still on Emery. Who's yours on this week?
Emery. I've just left it on Emery. I'm not going to waste. Again, we go back to the chip rules, don't we? It's I want to get rid of Emery. It's going to cost me a transfer and money, and
if things stay the same. if things stay the same, Glasner's on 17 points with the result as it is. So I will certainly take that.
How?
He's got the bonus thing, hasn't he, for the table?
Crystal Palace are that far behind Fulham?
Yeah. That's why he's so popular. That's why he's up there at like
wow
13%.
I didn't realise Crystal Palace were that far behind. I thought maybe 3 places behind, 4 at most. But they're how many places below, aren't they? 5, 6? It's got to be minimum of 5.
Yeah, it's got to be. Because a lot of people are saying, well, it's funny actually, Steve, because the assistant managership, when it first came out, you were all for Ruud van Nistelrooy, weren't you?
Yeah.
And a lot of, I think quite a few people did actually play it on him, and that did not go very well.
Last night.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, FPL Review was plug in Leicester and Ipswich. I mean, it would plug in Crystal Palace as well. So Fulham are 9th and Crystal Palace are 13th. So 1, 2, 3. What? Oh, this is a live table, I guess. So they're 4 points behind now, but that's, taking into account they're winning 1-0.
Right.
So I'm guessing before that they must have been 5 or 6 behind. Man United are in 15th place.
I know. It as we said last night, if what do we call it? If Man United hadn't have won the amount of games that they had done, and continued in the vein of form that they are in now, they would be in serious trouble. It's just as Jason stated, that the garbage that is below them at the moment is
-7 goal difference. Yeah, Almiron, is that his name? He's not done very well, is he?
No, it's the simple answer. I don't know what. I mean, Mark Goldbridge talks. I mean, ironically, I don't particularly like listening to Mark Goldbridge when he is talking about Man United. Specifically on, I'm fully aware of what I'm saying is completely ludicrous, but when he's on United Stand and it's just Man United chat, I do get a bit drained of hearing about Man United. Fully aware it's a Man United conversation, but when he's on That's Football, he speaks a bit more. I don't know what the wording it would be, but he certainly speaks with more of a, not that he's not speaking educationally on United Stand, but because he's not having to constantly talk about Man United on That's Football, I think he's got a more, what's the word I'm looking for here, Gary?
Unbiased?
Yeah, an unbiased opinion, I suppose, because it's people that are essentially wanting just to hear a bloke that supports Man United about their opinion about Man U, because they've only been hearing him speaking about, I don't know, Liverpool, Man City, Real Madrid, whatever football clubs there are on the planet. And then when occasionally you do hear him talking about Man United, there's about 1,000 different things wrong with Man United, and it's been going on for years. In fact, the upcoming Bonus Total Stealer podcast, where I'm quite literally looking through 2011, the emails that I had, some of them are.
Oh, you mentioned that on one of your on one of the Patreons, didn't you?
Yeah, they're really fascinating from a football point of view, in the sense of what my friend was saying about Man United and Arsenal, and how it was. I can't remember the exact wordings, but it's something to do with the fact that now the Glazers have taken over, Man United are going to go to absolute shit. This is 2011. And
when did they take over? Was it about then?
It must have been. It must have been around the 2011, 12, maybe a bit. Well, obviously it would have been maybe 2010, 2011 era, maybe even 2009, 2010, something around then.
The big giveaway is when they have to borrow. What was it? They borrowed $500 million and put it on Man United's credit card bill, basically, didn't they?
I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, but certainly
it should be illegal, really, for people to be able to purchase not even just a football club, it's like me. Well, I guess it's almost like a mortgage, I don't know, but they wouldn't let me go and buy a car for. I don't know. My analogy's not working there. Do you know what I mean? But they would let me buy a car and on hire purchase or whatever. But you shouldn't be able to do that for a football club where if you default on the payments.
But haven't they changed? The rulings have changed all now, haven't they?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I think hence why the likes of Newcastle can't spend money anymore. And I know these are all completely different rulings because of FFP.
Yeah, but that's to do with to do with financial fair play. I mean, there's still a load of American owners coming in and bleeding clubs dry. So I don't think the rules have changed on.
Right. Okay.
I mean, maybe the chat can tell us if we're wrong, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said with these emails. It's just fascinating reading a 26-year-old, talking about how he can see Ferguson leaving very, very soon, and there's me saying, "Now I can't see Ferguson leaving." Well, like a year later or whatever. No, 2 years later, was it 2013? He left. Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, 12, 13.
Yeah, and there's like bits and pieces of information about how my mate's really annoyed at Robin van Persie. He wants him to leave and everything, and I'm saying, nah, he won't be leaving and whatnot. And there's papers reporting he's going to go to Juventus, and then of course he ends up at Man United. It's a really bizarre read, these 2011 emails. I mean, one that will prick your ears up and Yelena's ears up, or even Paul's ears up, will be me talking about this girl that I was having relations with. It is grim. It's absolutely grim. I mean, I normally put my podcasts, especially when it's using explicit content, I always put on the explicit content button. And I think the way that works on Spotify is that if you're under 18, you can't access it. But if you are 18, you just get it automatically. I don't quite know how it works, but anytime it's explicit content, I always press that button. And certainly the ones that I'm talking about with Kim, even I'm reading them going, this is just fucking disgusting.
This is the emails.
These are the emails from 2011.
Who were you emailing? I never used to email anyone. I was always like on Facebook. I'd talk about that sort of thing.
Well, what's really weird is at the moment, I mean, whether anybody bothers following me on X or not, or if you saw earlier on, Gary, that I posted on X about the fact that I am gutted that the bill has been removed off YouTube. Whatever companies. Yeah, they've removed all the series. So all these people that have been uploading, I don't know, series 13, 14, whatever, they've all been removed along with every other series. So anyhow,
that usually means it's been bought up. The rights, whoever owns the rights to it, have been bought up by some company, and it's
okay. Well,
that's usually what it means. It's suddenly going to appear on UK Gold 34 or.
Okay, like well. The point being is that I've now had to watch random episodes. Well, the episodes I've been deliberately watching now is from Series 18, which is about late 2000-ish. And this is like when me and my friend Des, who I'm emailing, were at our peak of friendship. He was Des Tavener, I was Reg Hollis. He was the ladies' man, I wasn't. And so his name is Des. And
I'm going to pretend I know what you're talking about here.
We would just email one another and make sure that we're just constantly keeping in contact, because this was I think it was like the first time we'd been in contact for like 3 or 4 years, something like that. So we're just catching up with a lot of life, and you will be told a lot about a friendship involved with myself, Des, and this guy called GB, and you're all going to get fascinated by this character called GB. No one will know who he is, other than anybody that's watching this now that knows me personally, but there's a lot of detail talking about this particular individual. And what I find scary, Gary, is like I was 26 then.
No, long time ago.
It is dark reading this stuff, because I think you messaged saying about 2011 or something, didn't you? I can't remember now if you messaged me. I'm sure I messaged you about it. I can't remember.
What about it?
About going back to the what it would be like in 2011. Can you remember that period?
I'm
trying to think if I asked you that or not.
I remember 2011. I just finished my PhD. It's probably quite different than you, and spent a year unemployed trying to look for a job, and because I was basically, without trying to big myself up, I was a doctor in psychology, and every single job I applied for said you're overqualified, which was like really bloody annoying. So I spent my first year as a doctor, I spent signing on the dole before I finally got a job. So yeah, not the best memories of 2011.
Yeah, I kind of look back at it from a wrestling point of view. I did my history lesson on 2011, and it is absolutely atrocious that year. Like, really, really bad. I put myself through watching, this was about 2 years ago, watching every single Raw, SmackDown and pay-per-view of 2011, because I wanted to do a history, just continuously watching through to 2012, 13. The return of Brock Lesnar I really wanted to watch, but I couldn't get through to 2011. I couldn't do it, Gary.
I've been watching some of the, I think I've said to you before, like, my biggest fandom was in the 90s. Do you know, actually, just a random one, do you know what I interviewed as? I compared Mark Southern's return to content creation on Black Box as being like the return of the dead man Undertaker. It's actually agreed with me.
I remember.
I've been watching.
I remember when they did it.
I was so disappointed. I couldn't stand the what was he called? American Badass or whatever.
Yeah,
I couldn't stand that character. And I love the Undertaker, as I think you know, Steve. But but I've been going back and watching ones from the 90s that I remember. But beyond that, I struggled to watch stuff that I wasn't when I was really into it, which was when I was a kid, basically, you know, early teens. Who won the Royal Rumble in the end?
Which one?
The one that's just gone.
It was Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. Oh, that annoying one who's supposed to be related to
Jimmy.
Yeah.
It was Jimmy and Jay. So Jay's won it, and I just couldn't stand the Royal Rumble 2025. I just can't deal with the over the top choreography involved in it. Seems too fake. And funny enough, before we came live on air, I just finished off episode 5 of the Vince McMahon documentary. I just watch it and I just think, going back to certainly like the early 2000s, well, not even the early 2000s, the late 90s, early 2000s, it's just such a different era compared to now, where there was at least a realness to the product. Whereas unfortunately nowadays it just feels so fake. I mean, I know Ray posted something about a segment Cody Rhodes and The Rock did last night.
Ray's still really into it,
watch it, but I just can't deal with how fake it is, I suppose the word is.
Do you know it's funny? Change the subject slightly. Do you know I made that video a couple of days ago about FPL Wildcats?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
I went through their because I was trying to find the clip where they were talking about me, and I actually bumped into the. It was an episode of the Wildcats that Ray had told me about, where they were all dressed up in Halloween costumes.
Okay.
And I watched a little bit of that. It was quite funny. Anyway, sorry about that was just a random tangent, but
no. You know, like you said, it's ironically with the Wildcats doing Halloween costumes, and obviously back in the early 90s, that's what WWE was all about: characters, over the top, like circus clowns.
You watch back and you see like the Earthquake and what was his mate, Tornado. They're just basically two fat blokes in leotards.
Yeah,
I tell you, Steve, me and my best mate when I was a kid, I was quite a tubby lad, so I was called Hurricane and he was called Lightning because he was like the fast, quick. And I would squash him, the opponent, and then he would come in with like a Shawn Michaels kick. And anyway, sorry.
Well, it's funny because with wrestling, it's like with anything, whether it's the Squid Game, for instance, or any TV show. If you can suspend your disbelief, you're going to believe anything what you see. With wrestling, I can suspend my disbelief from when required. Like I watched WrestleMania 10 recently. And it was Doink the Clown versus Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna. It was Doink the Clown and his the partner.
Sorry, Steph, do you remember the one where there was 2 Doink the Clowns?
Vaguely remember this. This was something.
There was 2 Doink the Clowns. One of them emerges from under the ring.
Yes.
And then they do like this thing together. It freaked me out so much when I was a kid.
Well, this is the thing. So his partner was like a shorter version of Doink. And them two were facing Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna. I loved it. I thought it was a very enjoyable match for what it was.
Oh, Luna was like the crazy woman who was Bam Bam Bigelow's. Yeah,
that's correct. That, and I could suspend my disbelief. I enjoyed it for what it was. Whereas I was watching Royal Rumble 1988, and there's a segment with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, and I just thought this is absolutely, especially when Andre the Giant kind of attacks Hulk Hogan, it's terrible. It's so bad and slow. But the Royal Rumble match, from what I watched, genuinely really enjoyable. I can actually enjoy the product for what it was. But going on what you were saying about the Wildcats, just tell the audience about this specific video and why you did it.
To be honest, I had a few beers when I'd made it. I guess, me and Steve talked about, if anyone's watched my interview with Steve, Steve, I talked about it anyway, a bit of the old content creation addiction, and I hadn't made a video for a while. So basically I'd interviewed FPL Pricey the night before for my interview series, and we were talking
Goal 2-0 Crystal Palace. It's Mateta.
Not another Anderson. Mateta.
It's Mateta.
He's going to become popular. He's going to become popular over the next few weeks.
Eze with the assist.
He's going to become very popular after the blank game week, I think.
Oh. A lot of players. Me and Ray have already said that we want a front 3 of Mateta, Cunha and Mamouche. That's what we're looking
Not Isaac.
Well, he's another person to seriously consider as well. Yeah, because of the doubles. Oh, another goal. Southampton. 2-0 Brighton.
I'm not Pedro again.
Rutter with the goal. I don't know where the assist. It came from the right-hand side. Is that Minter? Possibly. Yeah. Minter with the assist. Dan, if you're listening, which I know you're not. But Rutter has scored for Brighton. It's now 2-0 to Southampton. And obviously we just had a goal from Mateta just then. But yeah, you are completely right.
Southampton?
Yeah, I meant as in I'm going to Southampton.
Oh.
Because it's at Southampton, and yeah, that game week 29 fixture, Southampton at home to Wolves. Cunha could be a nice little differential captaincy in that. Could be. Because those games... What, Man City versus Brighton? The standout fixture.
I'm actually not really looking forward to the wild card in 30-31 because that Haaland, I don't know, I'm really going to struggle over whether or not to get Haaland in or not. And whether or not to get rid of Salah. I think that's going to be a real nightmare for people to get
It's all down about the form, isn't it? See how Man City play tomorrow, is my opinion. If Man City turn up tomorrow and are just like... Or even against Tottenham midweek, which Roberto's going to be covering... not Roberto, Shane's going to be covering. If Man City turn up and they're just looking like they can't be bothered, then I think Man City
they're going to get
just an avoid.
I think they're going to get ripped apart by Liverpool tomorrow. I really do.
Really?
Yeah. Did you watch? I mean, I only saw the highlights of the Madrid match. They were pathetic. I know they've done all right in the league recently, but I mean, what's to stop Liverpool putting them, to the sword? Particularly because I got rid of Slot.
Yeah, but you've got Glasner now, who looks like he's going to get. Well, he's going to get the win.
2-0 now, isn't it? Yeah. So that would be. He's probably up to about 20 points now, then, isn't he?
Hold on. Wait a minute. The goal has been ruled out. Mateta hasn't scored.
Oh.
Mateta was offside by a hairline. It's pathetic.
You said to me before, it doesn't feel like there's a lot happening. I know you said to me before, one of the reasons you don't like doing the 3 p.m. streams is because there's not a lot happened. It doesn't, but it doesn't feel like a lot's happened, does it?
Well, nothing
I
has
don't know.
happened, has it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean,
as a state at half time, it's 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 between West Ham, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Spurs winning 2-1, now Brighton winning 2-0. I always find that most
Arsenal
goals.
is a bit of a turn up, I guess, if they lose.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they turn up. So I want to keep the title race open, even though I want Liverpool to win. But yeah, I think going on what you were saying, Man City and Liverpool, I think we're going to see where Man City heads are at when they play Liverpool tomorrow and then Tottenham. If they're just going through the motions, I think at this point, jumping on their assets is going to be a lottery, really, unless Mamouche is trying to prove that he's worthy of being the number one striker at Man City ahead of Haaland, which I very much doubt.
I think sorry, Steve. I think isn't the results of the investigation supposed to be coming out this month?
Again, I don't know. That is just going to go on and on and on. I think, to be honest with
you. I'm 99% sure they've said that the results are coming out, or at least the provisional results, because I'm guessing they can appeal it.
Okay.
Out in March, so that could affect. I mean, it could affect how it will affect them. We don't know, but it could, affect their form if they think they're going to be, in the championship or something next year. I mean, it won't be that bad, but there's a lot of uncertainty there, I think.
Yeah, like I said with Ray, I think when we hit that wild card he wants to do well. He was thinking 29, but I said to him no, leave it for 30, where we're getting 29. Some swings. Yeah, he was thinking that, but then he realised don't do it.
Yeah, I was thinking I can't see any benefits to 29 because we don't find out all the doubles and all that until like 30 or 31, do we?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, for game week 29, you said you had how many players? Did you say as it stands right now?
The only players I'm going to miss is Trent and Salah.
Yeah, so
I've actually got a full squad if I use my subs.
And I think that if you've got a good an 11 for that game week, I think just leave it as it is. You don't need to play a free hit or anything like that.
No.
Because for me, the free hit will be played more further down the line for a double game week, probably. Obviously,
I have heard people talking about them. Other people, content creators or whatever, saying that they do feel like they're in. This going to take surgery. I think some people are going to free.
I will have in the Bournemouth Brentford game alone probably 5 players. For instance, in the Arsenal Chelsea game, I've got 3, so that's 8 players in 2 matches. Whereas there's quite a few people, probably like yourself, that has got different players in different particular matches. Like there'll be people that will have Everton's Pickford, Nottingham Forest, Wood, Man City, Haaland, Wolves, Cunha, Fulham. Well, I've got Fulham, so I've got 9. I forgot about Robinson. So I've got 9 players. So Robinson.
If someone was to free hit that week, who would they have? They're going to have 3 Man United, maybe, versus Leicester.
I would say Fernandes at best.
3 Forest is a definite.
3 Forest.
Away to Ipswich.
Right.
I think Wood, a defender, Gibbs White maybe.
I'd be more tempted with, I was going to say 3 Man City.
3 Man City. I'd say 3 Man City, 3 Forest. Some Wolves in there.
Well, 1 Wolves and Cunha.
So
you'd probably have Cunha, Wood, and Mamouche/Haaland as your front 3. You'd have you'd have 1 Bournemouth against Brentford.
In Bournemouth.
Yeah, and Bournemouth for coverage. Would you have Son for Spurs, perhaps?
No, I don't think I would. Well, if you could afford it, maybe, but Fulham are not. I mean, they've not been walkovers this season, have they?
Well, you're saying that on the day they're losing, though.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, I'd have. Okay, so we'll say. I guess you want to spread your bets a bit as well, don't you? So if you had Fernandes and Son, you've got you're spread. You know, you're not sticking all your eggs in one basket, are you? Then,
Yeah.
Any Arsenal or Chelsea?
No, I mean maybe you'd have it for coverage, but I always say with a free hit, try your hardest to go with a lot of spread, like you just said, but targeting teams which you genuinely do expect to do well. And I'm not expecting Arsenal and Chelsea to be a thrilling, high-scoring game. I mean, Arsenal at the moment losing 1-0 to bloody West Ham. Remember that?
So I think free hitters will have an advantage, but I don't think it's going to be massive. You know, like I can get to 2 Forest and a City player probably by then without having to do much. Well, I can definitely get to that, and you know, so I don't think there's going to be, you know, and then you've got.
Sorry, just breaking news, Gary. Marcus Rashford is not playing today.
Okay.
Not playing today. Konza is. Martinez in goal. Cash, Konza, Mings, and I think it was Digne, I think. Yeah, Watkins starting today. Ramsey replacing Rashford. So one change for Chelsea. Reece James coming in for Madueke. What are you expecting from that game? I think I went 1-1. Or 2-1 Aston Villa. It was one of
Chelsea haven't been great recently, have they?
No.
Palm has been. I don't know. I think he's definitely going to be leaving at the wild card. I don't know. I'll go for Villa. I think maybe.
Well, Palmer.
Villa at home, aren't they?
Palmer, to be honest with you, can be gone after game week 29. Once game week 29 comes, if you're desperate, because keep him for Southampton, Leicester, and then get him gone.
Is that their next 2 matches?
His next 2 matches are Southampton and Leicester at home.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
Hold on. 2-0, Crystal Palace. Oh, fucking hell. This is the worst scorer you can possibly think of. Munoz with the goal.
Really?
And it sounds like Mateta with the assist.
Still, come on, Glasner.
Yeah. Munoz with the goal, Mateta assist. Jesus. Palace did this last year as well.
Yeah, they seem to be a second half of the season team, don't they?
And the next 2 fixtures they've got game week 28, Ipswich at home, blank, then Southampton away. Ray.
So you've got you're going to be really going for Villa then if you've got Watkins and you're still on Emery. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm desperately needing Villa to do something tonight, but they won't get bonus points. No, there's no table bonus. Which is still,
I think when Liverpool beat Bournemouth, when I had slot, I think that was still like it's a good 7 or 8 points or something. I think you can still get 7, 8, 9 points if Villa win.
Yeah, Villa win, say, I don't know, 2-1 or whatever it is. Then you get obviously 2 points for the goal, and then there's 6 points for. Is it 6 points for a win?
I think so. If there's no table bonus, yeah, I think so.
And then it's then a case of hoping that Aston Villa can absolutely batter Chelsea.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure Yellen, if she's in the chat, won't mind me mentioning. They
slagging her off again, are you?
Well, it was in her video, wasn't it? Because Brighton hammered them last weekend, and she wasn't overly pleased with us.
My phone is full. I say full of just pictures or video clips of Yelena. It's ridiculous. And then of just uploading it and putting it together with a pissing video from The Office. It's ridiculous.
Steve, if you don't do that with my naked Yelena clip, then I'll be almost insulted.
What annoys me is that I was listening to the wrestling time machine that a friend of mine does, Cy Powell and Morty does, and they basically go back to various places in wrestling history, and they go through the top 10 of music back then, so the top 10, and then they also talk about the TV at the time. And if they were being paid for this job, they would be able to edit in the music and everything. So the point I'm trying to get at is that when I'm listening to your stuff or watching Yelena's stuff, I just wish I had the time to just be able to clip and edit things together as I go along, but it's impossible. Like, usually I'm at work whenever I'm listening to your stuff. It's like the other day, I came home when Az and Yelena were streaming and they were on. I thought, fuck it, I'll just stick it on. And it's so weird having people that you know personally or have met in person on your TV, and it just feels like mates that are in your room. It's so weird.
Actually on a TV screen?
Oh yeah, I only watch anything on my TV.
Right, yeah.
Because they were
I don't have a TV screen, but it makes it different, doesn't it? I don't have a TV screen. There's one in the house, but it's not mine. Right, okay. But it's different, like, because that's where we watch TV programs growing up. It's much different. It's much different when you see something on a TV screen compared to a mobile.
Well, this is the thing when you watch, like I said, Yelena and Az, or when I was watching briefly the Black Box. It is a very surreal experience, because when you've met these people, like with any humans, because you've got that real you've got that then actual connection that you've met them in person. You know, it doesn't feel like then an online person, so to speak. And certainly whenever it's very rare that I've got you on the big screen. But hold a minute, Lewis Skelly could be sent off. It's gone to VAR. Lewis Skelly could be sent off. It's gone to VAR.
The Arsenal lad.
Yeah.
Wasn't he sent off the other week, or there was some big controversy, wasn't there?
Yeah. No. He was. Yeah, he was sent off, but they overturned it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Straight red for Skelly.
Bloody hell.
Skelly's been sent off.
I mean, to be honest, they were really lucky against Leicester last week. They left that right to the last minute. I mean, yeah, I think they're throwing away whatever chance they had of keeping the title race going.
Gerard Bowen goal now is even more crucial to West Ham potentially winning.
Arsenal, they do have a habit of doing stuff that turning things around when you don't expect them to. So it wouldn't entirely surprise me.
Just going through a few comments actually. So Zeitgul saying here 20 points for Glasner so far. Anyone with Mateta and Glasner are laughing. Well, there we are, Gary. PM, welcome, pal. Kickgrass TV saying, yep, the goal disallowed for Mateta. Hold on, goal at St Mary's. 3-0 Brighton. 3-0 Brighton. Matoma. No.
Oh.
Well, I've won money, but it's not the point.
Few people were saying bring Matoma in this week. I've seen that. Seen him mentioned a few places this week in the more obscure.
Matoma? Why?
Yeah, the more obscure. I've seen him mentioned in a few more obscure videos, as he should have been being talked about more. He scored last week as well, didn't he? I think.
Mate, I can't remember yesterday, so asking me about last week, I wouldn't have a clue.
You know the story of him. He did his dissertation. I think it's his master's dissertation on dribbling in football.
What?
And obviously, he's like, I've heard him talk about it on FPL Family. Like, he basically did his dissertation at university on how footballers dribble, right, and sort of tried to apply that to his own dribbling style. I think, yeah. Slightly, he's definitely not your typical footballer, if you know what I mean, in terms of.
It's mad what you can do with dissertation on.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's probably doing something like sports science or something. I guess so. You can probably do things that you wouldn't necessarily think of as dissertation topics for those sort of things. But it's interesting anyway. Like, I don't know, it'd be a bit like me studying how to drink beer or something. Something I do a lot of, you know what I mean? Although I'm not on the beer today. I was saying to Steve before we started, it's the first time I've done something live without a beer in my hand. So it's actually quite refreshing because I don't.
I don't. Oh my no! Carry on.
It's quite refreshing because I don't have to keep going to like open more beer cans and stuff. I can just sit here with my little Pepsi.
Zeitgul has got Cunha, Mateta, and Matoma, and in one of my money. And so, in one of my money teams, Steve, I might win £1. There we go. Kick Your Ass TV is doing very, very well. He has Muniz and Captain and Burmo, Gary.
Captain
and Burmo.
Nice. I think a few people did. Can I bring up a topic, Steve?
Bring up whether you like, mate.
What's your right? So yesterday, I don't know if I should mention him on the channel. The particular person on Twitter who's not liked by a lot of people.
Keep talking, but without saying the person's name, and I may be able to.
Well, he yesterday was going on about how much FPL Northerner, who is the guy who's #1 in the world, they were having a conversation on Twitter, which in itself I thought was slightly strange. But basically, he was saying that he who should not be named, that people have been having a go at FPL Northerner for bigging it up too much because he's #1 in the world, being Mr. Billy Big Bollocks, basically. And he who should not be named was sort of defending him. I was just wondering your take on, because I said it to Pricey when I interviewed him the other day. If I was world #1, well, actually the main thing what I said to Pricey is, this guy is going on all these different channels. If he wanted to start his own YouTube channel at the minute, he'd probably have 20,000 subsubscribers in a couple of days. Yeah, but he obviously wants to be into it because he's been on Sky Sports, he's been on 606, he's been on Gianni's thing, and he's not just doing them as one off. I think he's been on Gianni's channel, so he's obviously got a bug for doing it. So I don't know. I'd recommend to him if I was his agent. I would recommend to him start.
Based on Juice's cryptic post they put out, I think he's on Tuesday. I think.
Yes. I think. Yeah. No, I think they literally did say he was on it. I think.
So I'm going to have to keep my opinions to myself.
Also, you might meet him.
So great, you're #1. Can we talk about the top 3 best wrestlers? I couldn't give a shit, mate. You're #1. Well, what was it? Was he saying in the office? What, you give a shit about your baby as much as we do? Well done. Look, I don't follow barely anybody on X, and even if I do, I've muted most accounts. And if this particular individual, what's Northerner's real name?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I've not. To be honest, I've not actually watched anything he's been in. I've just heard on going around.
I don't see any problem with, if you want to call it. Hold on. Nothing happening. Sorry, I thought something happened in Craven Cottage. I don't see any problem with gloating if you're #1. I don't know what the extent of the so-called gloating is. If it means just him posting on a regular basis, that isn't gloating.
I guess he's maybe been gloating on the things he's been on, but as I say, I haven't seen any, so I can't.
It's a shame you haven't seen anything, because I kind of want to understand what. Did you say this person on X has got a problem with Northerner doing this, or do you mean he's defending what he's doing?
No, the person who should not be named was defending the fact that he should be allowed to.
Oh right, yeah,
Mr. Billy Bob. So I'm guessing he's been getting stick from FPL Northern's been getting stick from other areas of Twitter. But as you know, I don't.
Go. Tottenham scored 3-1.
Not a hat trick for your man,
Maddison.
Oh, Madison.
Oh no,
He's doing
no. Sorry, Jed Spencer scored. James Maddison assist.
Okay. Didn't he scored? He scored against Tottenham as well, didn't he? He's having a
Scored
little bit of a return to form. Yeah, he's a really nice bloke. I don't know. I'm quite into snooker, and Stephen Hendry's got a podcast where he just plays a few frames.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
James Maddison. Yeah.
And he seemed like seemed like a really nice bloke. So
what I liked about it was he was really nervous around Stephen Hendry.
Yeah.
Because James Maddison legitimately plays snooker, and he couldn't believe that he was asked to come onto Stephen Hendry. No, Stephen Hendry came to his house, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Stephen Hendry was just, it was a really, at first it seemed really awkward. It's like they kind of got into the groove of things, and actually the pair of them got on really, really well. And yeah, Maddison's one of those few players that actually speaks openly and honestly about things. So it was
the weirdest Stephen Hendry one. There's nothing to do with FPL, but there's a guy called I think his channel's called Break from Life, and he's the biggest FPL YouTuber. But he's not a professional snooker player or anything. He's like semi-pro, and he went on Stephen Hendry's podcast, and you could see he was almost shaking the entire way through it. Like he was so nervous. It was a bit adorable, to be honest, because I just like felt for the guy. You know what I mean? It's like, even though he's got like 400,000 subscribers, like he was meeting his heroes.
This is it. Like, we were just saying this morning, weren't we, about subscriptions and how the YouTube. In fact, do you want to just tell the audience what you were saying to me about the algorithms and subscriptions, Gary?
Yeah. So I can't remember why we were talking about subscription. Oh yeah. Well, I won't get into that. But basically, so in order to monetize your channel, I'll say this: you have to have 1,000 subscribers. I think it is.
You're correct.
But back in the day, YouTube, so when, say 10 years ago, when I would sign into my homepage on YouTube, it would only basically come up with channels I was subscribed to. You know, there might be a few, because I said I'm subscribed to about 400 different channels because I've had the same YouTube account for 15 years. So subscribing to channels actually meant something, whereas now the algorithm is a lot more.
Hold on. Sorry. Goal at St Mary's. 4-0. 4-0 to Brighton.
Southampton are used to something.
Well, Hinchelwood has scored, and the corner, you don't need to worry about it. Absolutely means nothing. It's a non-FPL point scoring. So carry on, Gary. Subscriptions and YouTube.
So nowadays, the example we used to use, Steve-O, is say that I usually, most of the things I watch on YouTube are either FPL related or politics related. So usually when I sign into YouTube, everything that comes up is either related to politics or FPL. But if I decide for a couple of nights to watch some true crime stuff, the next 4 or 5 times I sign into YouTube, my feed, my home menu will be full of true crime stuff, even to channels that I'm not necessarily subscribed to. And basically, because what YouTube does now is it recommends stuff similar to what you've recently been watching, rather than who you're subscribed to. So that has kind of 2 knock-on effects. First being that it, means that subscribing to a channel doesn't really mean it's guaranteed to show up for you. And secondly, I think it discourages people from actually hitting the subscribe button, because there's no real, apart from the content creator asking you to do it, there's no real benefit to you subscribing in terms of if you're going to see that person in your feed again. Would you agree with that, Stephen?
No, I do. And, whenever I watch YouTube, I'm trying my hardest to come away from it and watch TV shows instead, because normally my routine after work would be come home. In fact, to be honest, the first hour when I get home is just chill out to start with and put on YouTube, hence why I watched Illa's stream the other day, or it's usually a time when I actually do watch one of her vlogs, or Billy Mayhem actually released one recently. But anyway, the point being is that from
Mind Pump.
No, I don't watch anything to do with Mind Pump. It's fucking terrible. And I hate podcasts being on YouTube, but whatever. It just doesn't work with Mind Pump. But anyhow, my chill out time is between when I get home, so say 20:07 up to about 8 o'clock, and then it's just TV shows. But sometimes when I'm just doom scrolling on a Sunday would normally happen. All I'm seeing is just exactly what you just said, channels which I've never subscribed to, or it's just related to videos that I've watched in the past, and their channels just pop up, and I just don't feel the need to subscribe to anything anymore, to be completely honest with you, and because there's no purpose for it. It's a shame, really, because YouTube put all this emphasis on, well, if you get us X amount of thousands of subscribers, we're going to send
exactly.
you
They should undo the monetization. If they're going to do that, they should just, or the plaque or whatever, it should be based on the number of views or the amount of time people are watching your channel, not an arbitrary who's hit the button. Because I could hit the button and then never watch you again. Yeah. So what does it matter? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'll tell you, I won't. You can tell me if you don't want to talk about this, Steve-O, considering it's only 4:30 in the afternoon. I was watching something about Bonnie Blue yesterday.
Oh, right.
Have you heard the latest on her?
Just annoy me. I'm probably aware, but just annoy me.
Apparently, she's now pregnant from one of the 1,000.
Yeah, this conversation's ended. I don't care.
Okay.
I want people like her, to be completely frank, wiped off the face of the planet. I think they're cretins. I've already done her.
Let me just finish what I was going to say. Still, she's going to stream.
Of course she is. I know what you're going to say. Of course,
it's like, what the
they're scum. And
it's like, and it's streaming the pregnancy. Is that going to be part of the OnlyFans?
Probably
content? It's ridiculous.
These people, I've done, whether you've listened to them or not, it doesn't matter. I've done 3 episodes on her, based on interviews and videos that she's done. And hold on, goal at Ipswich 4-1.
4-1.
Here we go. Kulusevski scores. So
who scored for Ipswich?
Say it again.
Who scored for? Oh, that's when I was talking.
Hutchinson, I think it was. But yeah, the basic conclusion I got from her from the 3 interviews that I listened to was the fact that she's sadly an attention seeker. I'm stating the bloody obvious, but she's obsessed with likes.
I think he's a psychopath. Like the.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. She's got no emotion at all.
No,
she's completely gone. She is what, unfortunately, her age range are all about, which is likes, just attention. She kind of gave a clue in that.
Money.
No, it's not about money. Well, it is.
Come on, Steve.
No. Obviously, it's about the money, but she's more obsessed with the attention she gets.
Do you reckon?
Because that gives her the endorphin hit. And
I've listened to one of the Steve-O ones, the Total Steel ones. You were talking about like the. It's funny actually because after I listened to you were talking about like the schoolgirls going and filming themselves, and literally as I was listening to it, there were a couple of schoolgirls across the road filming themselves doing dances and stuff in the middle of the street, and I was just like, it's weird, just weird. You know what I mean?
I don't find it weird because I get the reason why people do this. I'm not blind to it, but the truth of the matter is that it's just this fake endorphin hit that these people are getting where they're constantly chasing likes. It's a very, 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 very bad cycle to be caught in. And these people are always chasing more followers but just basically more and more attention. And that's unfortunately the likes of Bonnie Blue, who have brought it to the public attention with the absolute grotesque behaviour that she's choosing to participate in, her own decisions.
Steve, I'm actually going to relate it to us, we've called ourselves obviously very different OnlyFans and YouTube, but do you think she's also almost got a content creator addiction for I don't know, a very different type of content?
But that's the thing. She gets the attention through offering her body for free to men, and men, unfortunately, as we're fully aware, just always will follow that, especially when it's on offer for free. And
a certain percentage of men.
A certain percentage of men.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind watching a little bit of naughty material, should I say? But I'm not tempted at all to go to look at Bonnie Blue's OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
No, and this is the thing. Like, for people like her, she, as you've just mentioned, she's so damaged she doesn't even know it anymore. This is the problem. She's so damaged. It's a bit like an alcoholic that genuinely don't. Sorry, I've completely lost track. Just listen to something then. What was I saying?
We're talking about Bonnie Blue, and then you said she's a bit like an
she's like an alcoholic or a drug addict. Anybody that's addicted to something, but they can't see it. Everybody else can see it, but they can't themselves. And she's just addicted to chasing attention. I mean, Matt Henley saying here, how I've got a question. However many men it was who do that. So, bloody hell, Matt, is this a question? I've got to question. However, the many men it was who were happy to queue up and do that. Sad truth is, it probably wasn't even hard to find that. No, she publicly puts out on social media. It's disgusting.
Steve, I watched. Do you know there's the other one, Ellie Phillips? I think. I watched a documentary on. There's a documentary about that on YouTube. Basically, when I can't remember. It's got millions of views. Anyway, but they interviewed some of the men. Some of them had flown in from like Sweden.
Yeah.
Like spent $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really that desperate to do that, I'm sure a prostitute does not cost.
It's not. I don't think for people like that. I mean, PK7 is saying here one of the saddest parts is that she's legitimately a pretty girl. I wouldn't have had a problem finding a rich man. She wouldn't have had a problem finding a rich man if she was that bothered about the money. Clearly, it's an attention thing. And yeah, this is the thing. It's these men that are willing to fly from other countries because they got money. It's a fix for them because they've clearly got enough money to get whatever they want. It's like the Vince McMahon stuff.
They're obsessed with her or whatever, I guess, aren't they? It's
not even that. It's just the fact they can do it. If you're Vince McMahon is a perfect example of this. The documentary kind of goes into detail, specifically in episode 5. I mean, Paul Heyman comes out with a line where it's I've written so many bloody notes down for this bloody thing. Yeah, Paul Heyman right at the start of the episode says that Vince McMahon created something to escape the abuse that he had when he was a kid. He was sexually assaulted by his mum, and he was physically abused by his stepdad. And
yeah, but there's no excuse for what he's done, is it?
No, but he's another one that's just psychologically gone because he can just have whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean the fact with that woman he'd set up, like basically her job was to go and do those things, was just like how can it wasn't just him, it's like the whole organization was basically set up to enable it. It was crazy.
Yeah, and this is the problem. It's like they say about a millionaire that's addicted to gambling. Them putting $1 million, $1 billion down on black or red.
A lot of footballers who get bored, isn't it, and waste all their money on gambling.
On a minute, West Ham nearly just scored.
Oof.
Nearly just scored. Matt Henley saying, I mean, the majority of attention is on how grotesque it was for her to do. However, the men are equally as bad. Trust me, I'm apologies.
The thing is, I get annoyed. I get annoyed at some of the channels. Like I watch a couple of like reaction channels to stupid things, and they do a reaction to the latest Bonnie Blue thing, but all they're actually, and they'll say, "Oh, how terrible it is," but basically all they're doing is promoting her.
You could argue you're doing the same for her now.
Like,
in theory,
in front of 50 FPL fans. I think it's slightly different, Steve-O.
Yeah,
I mean, you've done it on Total Steve-O podcast.
Well, this is exactly the point.
I'm talking about channels with hundreds of thousands of people who, lots of them probably will be.
The thing is, I always find with those particular channels is that they are just doing it to get more people eyes on their channel rather than actually wanting to have a conversation about it. Sadly,
100%, yeah.
That's what I find tragic.
You're so terrible, but they won't hold the mirror up to themselves to realise that they're just promoting that terrible behaviour. Yeah. Welcome to an FPL podcast.
I just want to quickly bring up my close friend's Mr. Reed's team. It's on the screen at the moment. He's having a stinker.
Yeah.
He's been doing so well, but today, Pickford 1, Robinson 1, Gabriel 2, Saliba 2, and Clivert 2. He has got Anya, Elanga, Salah, Palmer, Wood and Isaac still to go. But Mr. Reed is on a total of 8 points at the moment.
Oof.
I mean, have you even had any returns today, Gary? Because I've had nothing. I've just realised.
Well, I know I've got Glasner.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the biggest one for you, isn't it? Glasner.
Yeah, other than that, Arsenal lost, you said, didn't they?
They're going to lose,
yeah. Anderson own goal. Not really a return, but I think that's all I had planned today. So, not good with Arsenal, though. I think
how many points has Glasner got then for you? 20 odd points, 17 points.
Am I allowed to look, Stephen?
Well, the games have pretty much come to an end now, so you may as well have a look.
I'll have a live rank.
I was just wondering if it would have it in the point system but it doesn't.
Might do, because they don't get bonus points, do they? So
no.
Bloody hell. I'm doing well. I've gone my ranks. Start of the game week, I was 450,000. I'm 250,000 at the minute.
Thanks to Glasner.
Glasner 20 points.
Glasner's the one that's smashed it for you. Glasner's on 18 probably.
20 according to FPL Live Rank. Plus Mbermo and Vissa last night for me.
Yeah, but today specifically is Glasner for you.
Yeah, Glasner, yeah. Well, I'm glad that I can't see Slot out scoring that, so I'm glad that I made that move.
No Weak Foot saying on Arsenal, the biggest bottlers of the Premier League era, I think they have to be up there.
Yeah,
they
have had a lot of injuries this year.
Yeah, but they can bring in players.
Munoz on 13, Steve.
Munoz 13.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to look at the moderator league because I know there's a few people that have got Munoz in their team.
Effective ownership of my rank is 14%.
I think Dale's even got Munoz. No, he hasn't. Okay, fair enough. I thought he did. Oh my God, Dale, Captain Beto. Really?
Really?
What?
Do you know FPL Review recommended that I bring in Beto just before the 24 double game week? I was like, what the hell do you want about Review? And he's scored like 4 or 5 goals since then.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Steve? What have you got in the... You haven't got any returns at all, then?
I've had 0 returns today. Gabriel, Timber, Atara, nothing. I'm relying on tonight's game.
Yeah, you could get quite a few points for tonight, hopefully, couldn't you?
Hold on. James Ward-Prowse in a race with Raya to see who would score. Yeah, I'm literally relying on tonight's match. I'm basically needing Aston Villa to win, and it's basically Rodgers, and that I really kind of want to do quite well tonight because he's a bit of a same as Watkins, but I think Rodgers.
Watkins 21% ownership. The thing is, Isaac and Wood are still to play. They're the biggest at my rank anyway. They're 88% Isaac's owned.
Yeah, it's tomorrow could be
70%. Yeah, 70% Wood. those are the big dangers, I think.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. So what was the final Bournemouth score then?
It's looking like it's going to end 1-0.
That's quite a big shock, isn't it? So Clivert, Semedo,
Remember, they have 10 men for virtually the whole game.
Yeah,
West Ham have just one.
Yeah.
What was it? I saw someone had put their manager on Arteta today.
Just going to turn the light on. Oh, it's behind there.
That is grim. Well, I'm 24p down on my bets today. I started with £3.
No, don't.
And I've ended 24p down. I remember when we used to do monetizing on this channel, and people would genuinely be kind enough just to make up the difference.
Really?
Yeah, they'd send me 24p. Yeah. It's mad, mate. Utterly mad. But yeah.
Do you ever think, would you ever be tempted to, what's the word? Monetize it again?
Not worth the money and the hassle. I find with, specifically on what I notice with independent content creators, is that I find that once they start monetizing, that it just takes my enjoyment away from the channel because there's too many adverts. It just...
Yeah, I think it depends. You know, I did that rant video last month about 5 things that annoy me about FPL. Like,
Yeah.
if it's 1 or 2 adverts, I don't mind, but it's when you like a live stream and there's adverts coming up every 3 minutes. I'm just like...
Well, I keep using Trigger Lips as an example. I love the guy to bits, but unfortunately he has monetization on his channel. You know, again, as David Brent says, his choice. But the truth of the matter is that I can't watch his videos because every 2 minutes it's advert. Just destroys it for me. And his videos are only short as well. So it just frustrates the hell out of me. And to be completely frank, the money that you're getting is barely anything. It's not like, for argument's sake, if you were to monetize your channel, you're probably only going to get about, at the end of the month, if you're lucky, £1.
I put through, it was only an estimate of my, what I'd have earned off my highest performing video, which is still the original tier list that I did.
And how many, I know the answer to how many viewers, but how many views was that for the audience?
It's getting up towards 4,000. I haven't checked for it, but it's like 3. It's still picking up some views because it's obviously not a game week. So I think it was about £5. It was estimated between £5 and £10, and that's for my I think the second highest one is the one. Second highest video is actually the other content creator tier list, but it's like double the amount of views I've had on any other thing on my channel. And like, if that's something that's getting 5,000 views and it's got about 500 hours worth of listening time, you know, like, what would be the point in monetizing, basically?
It's not about what's the point. It's the fact that I personally, this is just me, but I think a lot of people feel the same, because I do know that a lot of people were complaining on Elite FPL that they were getting sick to death of the amount of adverts and they were not watching because of it. And for the amount of complaining we were getting, for the amount of money we were getting, it was just like, do you know what, just sack it off.
Yeah.
And I think that for most, including yourself, for most independent content creators, I think setting up a Patreon is the easiest thing you could possibly do. Just a simple thing to say, thank you for the work that you do. Here's 99p. Whatever.
Oh, you could do the channel membership things as well. They like used to do that, didn't you?
Yes, but you still have to monetize.
Do you?
Still have to do
adverts? Oh, right. I didn't know that.
That's how it all works. So
that's one of the reasons you went to Patreon.
Yeah. Basically, and the fact that YouTube takes such a high percentage of your fee, it's just not viable. And on Patreon, at least, you can say whatever the hell you want, pretty much. You can have,
and you do,
and as Andrew said, you know, this is a place for adults, and you want to listen to adult conversation. If you want to hear children, you know, go to your local nursery, for crying out loud. And the truth of the matter is, with Patreon, with the we're grateful of the people that are happily paying what they do, And like I say, we've got a small little community that are happy to send in comments like yourself and Andrew and PK7, Greasy and Graham that are willing to contribute on a regular basis, where, you know, they're happy to listen to me quite literally respond to what's being said with what is happening. That is all the games ended, by the way. Can I take that piece of shit out?
Ironically, Steve, the only elite Patreon you make that I don't listen to is the one that's purely about FPL. I mean, I don't listen to all of them because you do quite a few of them, but the only one I definitely won't listen to is that one because
it's ironic, isn't it? Because I'm the same with, I can't even think now, probably Juice. If Juice were to do, in fact, FPL Juice, when they do occasionally. When they do their membership videos, it's very rare, but coincidentally, they released one the other day. But if they do, it's normally like to do with FPL. I'm like, I don't care. I want to see why I love you guys. Like, for instance, the video they put up the other day was footage of from months ago now, just 5 or 6 of them getting together playing football. That was more enjoyable than hearing them discussing the next upcoming star for Game Week 29. I literally could not care less. But that's why Ross's, aka FPL Raptors, interview hit me quite hard, because I was just at work. I was literally outside a hospital waiting for somebody for 3 hours, and your podcast passed. You know, I think it was like an hour worth of content left of that particular interview. And when he said the words, and this is true, I said it in a voice message, when he said the lines, words to the effect of, at the end of the day, if you're an FPL channel, people are coming here for FPL. Yes, they want a personality behind that particular individual, but overall, they want you predominantly talking about FPL. Now, I'm just grateful that with this specific channel, it's the same with Juice, that I think you got such a hardcore audience that they understand the narrative as to why we're having conversations like this, because it's just two mates having a chat and we're brought together because of FPL. But when you are at the levels of Raptor, etc., the truth of the matter is that they're only there for people to tune in to talk about FPL. And
I'll say something. He actually contradicted himself thinking about it, in that he also said in the interview that when he does his deadline streams, you know, he quite often he'll run his deadline stream for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half after the deadline's passed, and talk about, you know, nothing to do with FPL. And he actually said his viewership hardly drops off at all, and quite often he'll get people coming over from Andy's deadline stream. So obviously, you know, even he is getting people tuning into him in quite high numbers when he's not talking about FPL. So he kind of contradicted himself with what he was saying there. But I guess he has to get, you know, he's got people there in the first place because of FPL, I guess. But
of course, yeah, and in fact, you know, Gary at the end of the day has interviewed FPL Raptor. It's a very interesting interview, Raptor is, and like I said to you, I will eat humble pie. I didn't expect Raptor to be as open as what he was, and he certainly was. And
he was open. Yeah.
Had a normal conversation with Gary about his high rise in the world of FPL, and it was a very interesting discussion point. And certainly, you know, he made some very valid points of view, which, like I stated, I agreed with. I'm not going to sit and pretend I didn't agree with it. You know, there are some interviews Gary's done where I'm like, I don't agree with that whatsoever. But you know, whatever. But overall, in fact, so far, Gary, and all, I mean, if you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. What has actually been, give or take, your favourite interview that you've actually done?
That's got to be yours, Steve, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I've enjoyed most of them. There's some.
Wait. Okay. Let me reword it. Is there an interview you did? I know the answer to this, and if you don't give me the answer, I'm just going to say it for you. But is there an interview that you've done that have impacted you the most?
I know which one you want me to say. I've enjoyed. I'll tell you, I've enjoyed all of them. The only one I didn't enjoy doing was actually Let's Talk FPL Andy, because I was almost sick with nerves. So, okay. I mean, it was great to have him on, and it was great to have him on the channel, but I don't think that I performed my best as an interviewer in that one. I also hadn't slept a lot the night before. But yeah, absolutely nothing to do with Andy. That is just because I was nervous. I actually think the one coming out with Az this week is was very good. I love doing stuff with Yelena. So yeah, I've really enjoyed lots of them. There's two or three that I won't name them. There's two or three I wasn't so keen on. Not because I wasn't keen on the person I was interviewing, just because I didn't think there was really, I listened to them all back and I didn't think there was anything that I really would have taken from them as a listener. But I've done 21 interviews now, and that's two or three of them I would say that of.
The answer,
I think the one you were looking for, the one you were looking for me to say was FPL Nightmare Andrew.
Yes. There we are. Yeah. That was certainly a very interesting conversation between two guys that were clearly very at ease with one another, and Andrew, spoke very openly and honestly about his journey with what he's doing. And like you say, whether I like his stuff or not, it doesn't matter. There's now context as to the reason why he does the stuff that he does. And, he enjoys what he's doing. He puts a lot of time and effort into it. And I think I think what's best about listening into interviews, whether it's you doing it or Juice doing it, is that you're getting to know more about the person. The person behind the content that they produce, rather than just give me the information about what you're doing or give me the entertainment that you provide, and that's all I'm here for. I think what you do is just open up the human side to these particular people.
The really interesting thing with Andrew was the most interesting parts of the interview were not the bits where we were talking about FPL or even FPL and mental health. It was that he opened up about, and don't get me wrong, he's partly doing it because he's, promoting his book. No, I'm not saying that's the reason why he did it, but obviously he's got a book on struggles he's had during his life. But that was, for me, it was talking about that stuff that was the most interesting part. And then that conversation then extended out into the stuff about the conversation around it about FPL, if you see what I mean. And as I think you've said lots of times before, Steve, people come on your channel especially to, you've mentioned it a few times where he said he goes and gets coffee with his best mate.
Yeah.
And they go up to the top of the hill and they spend about 2 hours talking FPL. But basically the stuff that's actually through talking about FPL, they talk about things that really matter, beyond FPL. But it's almost like talking about FPL is almost the excuse to get together. And I think that almost can be reflected in content, as in, people might come to Elite FPL or to my channel even, or obviously I don't usually have live chat because of FPL, but I like to think they probably stay around because there's more than FPL there.
Yeah, and you're like I've said it before, you apply to anything in life, really. It's like at work, isn't it? The reason why you're with your work colleagues is because the thing that is bringing you together is work, and you can talk work all day. But when you find that friend that you can open your heart to and talk about relationships or basically real life problems, that's kind of more of the interesting conversation than talking about work, for instance. And I think sometimes it's potentially the same with FPL. In fact, I will say Yelena literally said it in your interview with her, which was, she said, I'm more interested in... Sorry, Mr. Reed's just messaged me saying awful. We all know what that's about. Yeah, we were slagging you off, mate, earlier. In fact, I may bring up his team again. But yeah, Yelena literally said, I really don't tune into live streams because they're talking about FPL. I want to hear them talk about... I always use the example of your favourite McDonald's, for instance. It's just more fun, enjoyable. It's less serious. And you kind of... For me personally, listening to... Ironically, this is how I came across Yelena's stuff, really, was because of a conversation she was having with her boyfriend about who could eat the most chicken McNuggets or whatever it was, or eating cheeseburgers the quickest. It was absolutely absurd, but it was also, for me, just like... I've got a breather from them talking about the fact, like what I'm about to do now, the fact that Mr. Reed has got 8 points. The only person that cares about that person's got 8 points is Mr. Reed himself.
McChicken sandwiches, Yellen has just clarified in the chat there.
The chicken McSandwich, yeah, the one that they do in the summer.
What
at the moment,
like a burger with chicken in it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like a bird's eye crispy chicken piece, essentially.
Right.
If anybody wants a McDonald's recommendation from me, it would be at the moment the Philadelphia cheese burger. That personally for me is incredible. And Gary, if there's a McDonald's near you and you fancy going in there, then by all means, I highly recommend ordering the McPhilly cheeseburger. It is insane. In fact, any Burger King fans out there, the Memphis King barbecue is incredible because you get the burger, obviously. It's basically just an XL quarter pounder, but you get 3 onion rings inside as well. It's just absolutely stunning.
Onion rings in a burger. Oh, I don't like the sound of that, Steve.
No, it is delicious. Is what I will say.
I'm always, when I go, I like to have a Big Mac and a couple of, as you know, Steve, I'm a pretty big bloke. A couple of cheeseburgers on top. That would do me fine.
Gary,
usually chocolate milkshake. So, mate,
can we go now?
Yeah, it was your channel, mate.
Right then, this is Mr. Reed's team up on the screen.
Good luck for Aston Villa.
T-Fax is saying there, Emery owners, it's time. Our 0 pointer is yeah, Rodgers blank, Watkins blank. It's. I mean, I'll bring up my team. I mean, my team with Emery to play. Well, you know what I mean. It's Rodgers and Watkins that I need. Well, I need Aston Villa to do things, but specifically Rodgers and Watkins to absolutely smash it tonight. That would be fantastic. But hey, I went 1-1 in this fixture. Remind us of your prediction for this game, Gary.
I'm being nice to you, Steve. I've gone 2-1 to Villa.
Come on, Villa.
Which will absolutely curse them.
Good Lord, we've got David Hamil here, who is a Patreon. He's bottom of the Patreon league, and he said that he's got the Pereira assistant manager. I am the man to fear in the mid league. Who's Pereira? Who's his team?
I don't know.
Is that this Southampton manager? I'll just look at David's team. It's easy to find. He's bottom of the league. I know he won today. Oh, it's the Wolves manager. He got him. That's incredible. 19 points. Well done, David. 19 points.
He didn't beat Glasner.
What, by 2 points?
We didn't beat Glasner. He's a point below. So
yeah, that's my point. By 2 points. In fact,
fair play for David for going for Wolves.
And David's still got. He's on 43 points. He's still got Haaland, Isaac, Salah, captain, and Alisson still to play.
Nice.
So he's doing. I'll just quickly bring up his team just to prove. Well, to prove that he's bottom of the Patreon league. So there he is there, and then bring up his team quickly. Yeah, like I say, he's on 43 points, and as you can see here, there is Pereira on a beautiful 18 points, whatever it is. Bloody hell. Lewis Kirby here as well. Jesus Christ. It's a miracle.
I'm just trying to figure out what I've earned from the assistant manager. This is a general guideline. Because, we said when we did our tier list that it could potentially be the most powerful chip in the game. So I'm thinking I got 20, 14, and then... So I got 14 from slot, I think, the first week, 20 this week. I can't remember what... I think maybe he got 13 last week, so that's 45-ish points. So it is pretty... I think the thing is, though, because everyone has hit it at the same time.
Yeah,
45-ish points would be a big deal, but sort of everyone's kind of got the same amount of points out of it, give or take. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's more of this weekend. where people have used
this weekend.
Literally this weekend, where it's who's the single player manager they've used it on. And like I said, congratulations to David and yourself for putting it on managers who not only have clearly won, but the other playing teams that were way above them. Anyhow, Gary.
So I was just going to say, it goes to show, I think my season, I've been overriding all of the, basically taking my own advice and thinking I'm more clever rather than just going with the crowd. And this week I just went with the crowd. I went to Glasgow. And so I think maybe for the rest of the season, I'm just going to go along with the crowd and see if that gets me up to the top 100K.
Welcome to the world of FPL. Go with the crowd, and it's just like, yeah, I'm doing all right. Or you go with your own gut instincts, and the win feels more bigger than anything. No. But Gary, do you want to just quickly
me on, Steve?
No, thank you for coming on. Trust me, that if that was a solo stream, I don't know what I'd have been doing. But yeah, do you want to just quickly plug your channel, Gary?
Yes, FPL Have a Beer. If you haven't seen my show before, please go and check it out. I talk about random FPL, my opinions on FPL in a way that probably Steve-O can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Not many other people do. And I also have an interview series where I talk to content creators. Last couple I've had on was FPL Raptor and Let's Talk FPL Andy. I've got one coming out with Az this week. And as I said, shall I say this on the stream? I'm hoping to have to be interviewing Mark Southerns next Sunday. So I'm hoping if that all comes together, that will be out in a few weeks as well. So yes, FPL Have a Beer. Thanks, Steve.
And thank you, Yelena, for the kind words. Please do these again. Well, I can tell you for free that I'm going to be off work for a sustained period of time. And to be completely honest with you, I'm probably going to be doing the 3 p.m. kickoffs on a semi-regular basis. I'm not going to do it in game week 20. Have you seen the game week 28 fixtures at 3 o'clock? Brighton versus Fulham, Crystal Palace Ipswich, Liverpool Southampton. I have zero interest in any of that. I think the next one I'll probably do at 3. In fact, even the following week, game week 29. Garbage. Game week 30. Oh, it's another midweek. Oh, so we've got a midweek fixture. So yeah, there's been no TV announcements up till the 5th of April, which is my brother's birthday. So unfortunately, Yelena, I've got some bad news. You're going to have to watch this on replay 15 times over because
you started that sentence with, "Oh, I've got good news." By the end of it, sorry about this, Yelena. Bad.
It's like David Brent. I've got good news and bad news. It's not good news, Steve. It's bad news and irrelevant news. I think doing streaming, yeah, you get the idea with that. But certainly this Wednesday, myself, so Rupert, aka FPL Semi-Casuals, doing Brentford versus Everton. Jason's doing Man United versus Ipswich. You've got Ray covering Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. God, that'll be a laugh. You've got Shane, FPL veteran, covering Tottenham versus Man City. And then Roberto covering Liverpool versus Newcastle. And I'll be I will be hosting the show. And then God knows what's happening over the next few weeks. Because like I said, I've got a lot of time on my hands. And there's probably going to be absolute pointless, random videos being uploaded because I'm bored out of my friggin' mind, to be completely frank.
Oh, Steve, as I've said to you before, I'm always happy to jump on. Obviously,
yes.
The reason Steve did ask me to come on Wednesday, but I do not have. I don't have, what do you call it? TNT Sports or whatever you use to watch football. I don't spend £30 a month on that, so I can't, unless the games are on Amazon. Unfortunately, I can't join those ones. But I'm always happy to jump on.
What's that? Twice a year?
Yeah, Christmas and Easter usually. But I'm always happy to jump on with you any other time, Steve.
No, thank you. Yeah, that's very, 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 very kind, Gary. And yeah, other than that, as I always say, if you've enjoyed the stream, just simply hit the like button. That'd be very appreciative. On the replay, I say the replay. If you want to leave a comment just for a bit of feedback, by all means, leave some comments on the video replay, so to speak. And if you are brand new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You can join us on Patreon if you want. There is a free option there. You just simply hit a button that says free member, and there you are, done. If you do want to listen to additional personalised content, and what does that mean? Basically, if you write a comment which I feel I need to respond to, which is most of the time because the people that write comments in the comment section on Patreon, like the likes of Gary, they always have interesting opinion pieces, and I'm more than happy to respond to it. And I think tomorrow's episode is going to be very interesting because there's quite a few comments, and I think that'll be episode 131. On that note, enjoy the Aston Villa versus Chelsea game. Thanks for joining us. See you later. Cheers, Gary.
See you, everyone.